All right, welcome to another edition of Mark and Jerry with Charles, the BS sessions. Let's take it off with Charles. What do we got going on tonight? Who's on the show?
Hey, everybody. I'm actually DJ Cool Herc, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame member this year. That's right. Who's that? I don't know. But tonight we got Travis Perrotta, a new guest with us. First time. We got Edwin Cannistraci, of course, Jerry Supe, and then the legend, my mentor and yours, Dr. Fukk from the planet of Fuckalicious. And what are we
the
doing?
The podcast king.
Yep, the podcast king. Hey, but Travis is on here, man. I didn't poach him. Who poached him, Charles?
He's just a friend of mine.
Oh, okay, you poached him, right?
If that's a poach, I don't know.
And you got my last name right.
Who, me?
Because everybody mispronounces my last name.
Hey, Travis, are you Italian?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, Paisan, right on.
All right.
Hey, I met Travis in real life.
Yeah.
Was he
oh my gosh, that was one of the greatest days ever. Testament.
Testament? That's it. Yeah.
Exodus. Yeah, that was so awesome to meet you, man. Ralph.
I know, he told me 100 times about that, Ralph.
Huh?
I met Dr. Fukk. I go, yeah. And then 2 days later, I met Dr. Fukk. I go, yeah. And then he goes 3 years, I met Dr. I go, dude, I know.
It's a big deal, Mark.
I know.
I calmed down. I was starstruck.
You're awesome, dude.
Thanks, man.
Travis is very active on all the groups. Of course I know Travis, and it's great to finally meet you, Travis, online.
It's good to meet you too, man.
Yeah.
I love rock all over you.
Yeah, I'm glad Mark poached you to be here.
It's an honor.
Hey, I only poached from the best, so you should be honored.
I am honored.
Hey, Jerry, man, meet Travis, man. You said you didn't know him?
Yeah, well, I've talked to him on the chat rooms and shit like that, but never talked to him in person, man. Cool dude, man. Great fucking shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
All right.
Underrated, very, very great album, Down to Earth. I love that album.
Yeah, Rainbow rules. Jerry, so what do we got going on tonight? This was your idea.
The best of 1977, man. Another great year. I think it's one of the only years we haven't done yet, so kind of looking forward to it, man. A lot of good fucking stuff that year, man.
Yeah, we better slow down on the years because all the good music is running out.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like what Dr. Fukk says, where our music is going to be gone, there ain't going to be nobody taking over. It's like on his podcast.
All you babies cry about it every day on. I see babies crying. Oh, music ain't getting accepted. Shut the fuck up.
We still got Ghost though.
And hopefully, if Midnight Still puts out another album.
Yeah, and freaking Thrasher Dive puts out another album, man. I've been waiting for that for I don't know.
Yeah, our next album.
Absolutely.
Our next album is going to be called. We're going to call our next album Havana Democracy.
Yes.
Nice.
And cover Hungry Like the Wolf.
Yeah, man. This boy band thing, you guys are fucking funny on that shit. I'm just like laughing at it. You guys think I'm triggered. I'm just sitting there going, this is fucking hilarious.
Oh, you're not triggered, right?
Oh, no, I'm not triggered.
You are so triggered.
I am not triggered. I love it. That background is amazing, by the way. I laughed at that. So that's how I look at the post. I'm laughing at him.
You don't call nobody crying about me, right?
No.
Okay.
Never.
No.
Never.
I just tell Charles I know what you're doing with these boy band posts.
Oh,
really? Is that what he does, Charles?
yeah. Right.
That's it.
Sure, Mark.
And I tell everybody.
Hey. Put all that shit aside. I'm going to focus on Edwin Cannistraci right now because I got a question for you. A question that everybody on this planet that has brains or some kind of fucking brains does not understand how Edwin Cannistraci can like Metal Machine from fucking Luke. Explain to me. Explain to me how the fuck that is even music. Go ahead, explain this shit to me.
Well, you know, if there's anyone that can explain this shit to you, Ralph, it's me.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Okay, well, I do discuss this in a little bit of detail in my second of my 3-part Lou Reed video. I did a 3-part Lou Reed video where I actually did a bona fide review, actually reviewed fucking Metal Machine music, like gave it a proper review. Okay, yeah, obviously it's just noise, like guitar feedback. So yeah, that's the first thing people are gonna say. Hey, this isn't music, it's just a bunch of fucking noise. Well, you're right, it is just a bunch of fucking noise. But this is the thing. Sometimes, as this is the kind of album I would have hated about maybe 15, 20, 30 years ago. But as I get older and shit gets more fucked up and you get knocked around the block, sometimes you need that next level, like past heaviness. What's past heaviness? And that's just like crazy, fucked up. It's all fucked up shit. And that's like the thing. Sometimes you just want to hear just fucking noise for like an hour or two.
Go to your local sewer station and sit outside.
This is easier and it's more comfortable. And I got air conditioning and it's more comfortable, especially in Florida. You need the air conditioning.
It's not
and you got the noise.
You guys are both in Florida and haven't went to visit each other. Wow, that's kind of fun.
You're on the East Coast, I'm on the West Coast.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's like
Florida's way too big. That's like you going to San Francisco. You're still in California, right?
It's like 8 hours. Yeah, 8 hours.
Florida's a big state, but obviously, if Ralph's ever in Tampa, and if I'm ever in Miami, yeah, we'll hit each other up.
Yeah, and just don't play that Lou Reed shit.
No, well, listen. To be fair, Metal Machine music, it's not like something I listen to every day. It's like, it's just like,
but
appreciate for what it is.
Edwin,
yeah,
Edwin, do you listen to that Lou Reed song where he goes, and the color girls go, boop, shoo-doop, shoo-doop, boop-a-doop, shoo-doop.
Yeah, I love
that. That's a great tune, right?
Yeah.
Marky Mark is way better.
Huh?
Marky Mark's rules.
Marky
My question.
Wild side.
My question is: yes, Tales of Topographic Oceans. Anybody like that? Huh?
Well, there you go. I don't know if you saw that episode, but somebody
I did.
Somebody
one of my favorites.
Put that Metal Machine music versus that.
So yes, one.
That Tropicana.
Yes.
Yes album.
Yeah.
And I'm judging, and man, that Tropicana album is like the most pompous shit I've heard in my life. I mean, the pompous crap. But I'm giving it all to Yes because at least they're playing instruments.
I love that episode.
Lou Reed is playing the guitar that caused the feedback. He is actually.
What did they do? They played a lot of machines to bury that guitar?
No, it's apparently like a loop. It's like a kind of a loop of feedback that he's like, I don't know, doing some fucked up shit with. It's a little like but it is an actual guitar sound.
Is it?
Yeah, it is a guitar sound.
Play through a sewer station?
Yeah,
I didn't hear it. I just
like the sewers of New York.
I just saw
Edwin, tomorrow I'm going to go to the sewer station with a recorder. I'm going to record it. I'm going to send it to you, man. Because I know
awesome. I'll dig it.
You can listen to that sewer station down the street in your air-conditioned house.
He's gonna write a script about it.
Oh, it'd be great.
I'm going to make it even more interesting because I'm going to do a little poetry over it.
The sewers of Florida.
That's so wonderful.
Wonderful.
And I gotta say that the Yes versus the Lou Reed album, I think we can consider that like the first Suck versus Suck out.
Oh God!
I think
that was a great video.
I love Yes.
Great video.
It was. I'll be honest. I did not listen to that Lou Reed album. All I had to do was look at 30 seconds of each tune.
I don't know. It's like comparing machine metal music to like normal albums. It's like it's like comparing Eraserhead to Ghostbusters. It's just like it's just such a different thing. It's not music. It's like just an avant-garde.
You should have put the art of noise against that.
Exactly. It's not music. That's just my point.
The title is ironic.
Don't you think?
If I want to listen to something like that,
but Ralph, is it better than Slipknot?
No, actually, I will say it's a tie. Slipknot does play instruments, but they play it so bad that, man, even Metal Machine is like tied with it.
Damn. Well, at least they're
Oh,
tied
wow.
with something.
Yeah,
They're
it's
not-
time.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry,
The
have
only
you
thing
heard
that
that?
will tie it.
Have you heard
What?
that Lou Reed?
No, not from hearing. I don't think I want to. So
Well, I think
I'd like-
Ralph posted that, and I put
That Yes
Edwin.
album's
I put.
terrible,
I
too.
tagged.
you talking about topographs of the ocean or some shit like that?
Well,
That
yeah,
Yes
he did
album?
a thing of
That
that.
album
Yeah.
blows too. That
I
album
never
blows.
listened to that Yes album, but now,
My-
I might
yeah.
I might want to listen to it.
We did a review
My-
of a Yes album with Lee. It was only 3 songs. We only played one.
Close to the
It's
edge,
great.
right? Was that close to the edge?
It wasn't close to the edge. It was the
That's
Gray
my
album.
favorite.
The Gray
That's my
album.
favorite Yes album.
Forgot the Gray album. I'm fucked up. Fucking, I
I'm
haven't
more
had
of a King Crimson-
alcohol in almost a month, man. This is hitting me.
Are you fucked up already, Mark?
No, I haven't drank the whole thing.
I just gotta say this is gonna be messier than usual.
Yeah, I'm funny. Subscribe to us.
Mark is
damn
very
it.
funny. I love that you do anniversary.
You gotta say, I'm funny. Laugh, damn it. Please
I'm
laugh.
funny.
laugh.
Laugh.
Yeah, laugh. I'm
Garrett,
funny.
bitches.
Applause.
You
I
are
like
a lot-
bitches.
you are funny. You are funny.
Sometimes. I get laughed at more. I get laughed at before more than I get laughed with.
Well, it's because you look for it, Mark.
Yeah, I do.
And
You're
then when
welcome.
it hits you,
I'm a
you-
clown.
Yep.
You are the major instigator.
I thought I was the master baiter.
Yeah, that
That
too.
too.
Yeah,
Hey,
well,
I admit it.
You do like In Excess, so
Oh, I love In Excess.
Now that's
Never tear us apart.
I'd much rather hear Lou Reed jerk off of a guitar and feedback than NXS.
Then
I
fucking
agree.
listen like
Thank
these
you.
or the earlier albums. You don't like any of those?
That Suicide Blonde song's kind of all right.
Yeah, there's
That's
nothing like
later
turning,
stuff.
oh,
nothing,
that
like,
song's amazing.
nothing like turning on that metal station. Nothing like turning on that metal station here.
Oh, you know, I don't mind
that
that ballad. They have a ballad from that. big
Never
album.
tear us apart. Never tear us apart.
That's a pretty song.
I think
You know,
this time is better.
Yeah, that
The
song.
funniest thing about In Excess was when I was watching Beavis and Butthead, they were commenting on a In Excess. I think it was like an In Excess ballad, and Butthead's like, "This is wuss music. Change it." And
Oh,
they go
yeah.
right to Danzig Mother by Danzig.
Oh, now there you go.
Now, that's music.
That is music for men.
We could all agree on that.
Yeah, I don't like Danzig. I don't like the Misfits.
Of course.
You don't like Danzig, Mark?
No,
Oh,
I don't
Lord.
like his.
Mother?
I don't like it. I've never got into that, but I do like Overkill, man. Overkill rules.
All right. All right.
Overkill is awesome.
Yeah, but let's get into some BS before we get into our episode here. Some light BS, but I'm gonna let you take this, Edwin, because you know about him. I knew as soon as I tagged you or put that on your group, you would have saw that because for some reason I knew you liked him. Gordon Lightfoot passed.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's he's an artist. He's a country folk artist. You know, 60s, 70s. You know, was when he did most of his stuff. Some people might know his song "Sundown" and the record, the Edmund Fitzgerald. Beautiful songs. He's someone that people were always recommending to me for years and years, and whenever I listened to him, I just couldn't get into him for whatever reason. Even though I do like some of that stuff, I like outlaw country, like Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, stuff like that. His shit's a little like that, but a little on the folkier side. But it was something where just like a couple of years ago, I finally gave him a listen, and it's just suddenly clicked. And then I was going through a divorce, and his music really helped me a lot during that period. There was something about it. It was like kind of perfect, scrappy, middle-aged man music, perfect hangover music. That's why I did that video, the Gordon Lightfoot hangover special, because, you know, even though primarily, you know, I mean, I love all kinds of music, but my favorites like hard rock and metal. But, you know, when I wake up in the morning, I don't want to listen to hard rock and metal, you know, like when I wake up, I like to hear something a little softer, a little more calm, like hangover shit. And that's normally when I'll listen to like blues, country, or folk. And Gordon Lightfoot he's like the perfect music for that. He's like the perfect hangover music because he sings like a guy who the night before was having a wild time, but now he's like getting all serene and wistful. And it's really beautiful music. And he was a really beautiful songwriter, great singer. I think he was one of the best lyricists from the late 20th century. So, you know, he lived a long life. He lived a good life. He was a real hellraiser in the 70s, outlived, you know, and still managed to live. And he's great. His music meant a lot to me. And I know a lot of people, especially people that are more into hard rock and heavy metal, might not be so into him. But if definitely if you like some country and folk music, you definitely should check out some Gordon Lightfoot. He was an amazing songwriter, and I think he's better than Bob Dylan personally. And he definitely sang much better. No question about that. And yeah, so yeah, it touched me, it affected me, especially because his music really helped me get through a divorce. So respect, a drink to Gordon Lightfoot.
Charles, you got anything to say about him?
I don't know anything about him, so rest in peace. And meant something to Eddie, means something to me. There you go.
Thank you, Charles.
Ralph.
I don't know much about him. I'm into boy bands.
Travis.
All I knew was that wasn't Bob Dylan was a fan of him, wasn't he?
Yeah, Bob Dylan
was.
Yeah,
I haven't.
Hey, I like your stuff.
I haven't heard much of his music, so I'd like to get into his catalog. I wish it wasn't this kind of circumstance where I discover his music, but I'd like to check it out.
Travis, check out my video because it's like I'll walk you through it.
All right.
Yeah, and whatever sounds good to you, check out those albums.
I will. And by the way, unrelated but great Deep Purple episode, man. That was amazing.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that's one of my favorite videos I've did. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Jerry,
No
what do you
problem.
think about Gordon Lightfoot?
I mean, it's a name I've heard my whole life. I never really, listened to him, so I really couldn't tell you. I mean, it's sad to hear that he died, man, for his fans. But other than that, I don't really know nothing about the guy. I was never in that type of music, the Bob Dylan, folky type. So I really, have nothing to say about that. Just sorry that he's, passed away to his fans.
Yeah, man, I didn't know him either. It's like I look at him and I go, Gordon Lightfoot, and I go, I don't like that name. I'm not going to listen to it. It just sounds so James Taylor to me. So I never took a chance to listen to him. He might be better than James Taylor because James
Yeah,
Taylor.
you would check out somebody that's called Simon Le Bon.
Hey, that guy could write lyrics, man.
Yeah,
Look
sure
now,
can.
look all around. There's no
Hold
sign of
back the
life.
rain.
Voices, another sound.
The
Let me
Reed
hear you
Flex,
now.
Flex.
This is planet Earth. I fucking love Duran Duran, man.
Man, I fucking hate that band.
I know. Enjoy.
It's because I'm not into boy.
It's like you had the first album cover there, so I had to sing a first album song. So
That's how much of a fan Mark is. He's thinking.
I
I don't know. Well, I don't know. Do you like any country folk? Do you like Waylon Jennings or anything?
I love Waylon Jennings and Johnny
And you
Cash.
might like Gordon Lightfoot. He's definitely better than James Taylor.
And I love Canadians with Triumph and Rush. So there you
Yeah,
go.
I
he's
like
got-
James Taylor. God damn it.
He's
Enjoy.
not, nothing against James Taylor. I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah.
He's a little
G.G. Allen, bitch.
Yeah, but Gordon Lightfoot's a little less middle of the road. His stuff's got a little more of an edge. That's
Yeah,
all.
the best version of Fire and Rain is by Badlands.
Agreed.
James Taylor still got the
Agreed.
money. So
Yeah,
thanks.
sure.
He was in a very cool movie, Two Lane Blacktop with Dennis Wilson. You ever see that?
No,
Oh, that movie's badass. Has no one here seen Two Lane Blacktop?
no.
It's the hot
No.
rod version of like Easy Rider from the early 70s. It's bad.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Like a muscle car Easy Rider, James Taylor of all people. It's a little weird. And Dennis Wilson and Warren Oates. It's a badass movie.
You know, Edwin, I'm going to admit this to you. I feel kind of stupid. You know that movie Gone in 60 Seconds, the original, what's that guy's name?
Nicolas Cage?
No, the guy who did the original version, the big guy from the Towering Inferno. The actor who died
Steve
early.
McQueen?
Steve McQueen, Gone in 60 Seconds, the original
Was he
one?
was he in the original?
Yes.
I don't
It's
know.
boring as fuck.
Let me
I'm just saying. I like the Nicolas
Steve McQueen's
Cage.
one of my
version.
favorite actors. I don't think he was in Gone in 60 Seconds.
I don't. Maybe he was. Oh, that movie
All right.
Bullet. I mean, that movie Bullet sucked.
Bullet's
Oh,
amazing.
you're talking about
Bullet's
Bullet.
great.
Yeah, Bullet.
Bullet rules.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, Bullet
Love
rules.
Bullet.
I didn't like it.
Bullet,
It was just a
man.
bunch of driving. There was no hardly any
Yeah,
dialogue.
so what? It's
La-
fucking Steve McQueen driving around looking cool. What
I
more
do
you-
like the
Lalo-
Towering Inferno.
Lalo Schifrin, he did the score for that. Did Dirty Harry also.
My
It would have
friend
been
gave me-
Boingo guy did the score. It'd be the greatest movie ever.
Oh,
wouldn't it?
fuck off,
Oh,
Charles.
right. According to you, my friend.
No, I said I love John Williams too. Damn.
Is it true? Is it true, Mark? You didn't like Bullet because Stephen Queen didn't make out with a guy in the movie?
Oh god. Oh yeah. I like tits and ass, man. No, homie, don't play butt darts.
From Simon Le Bon.
Simon Le Bon.
So,
Hey, it sounds
By the
like
way,
a bong. It sounds like a bong, Simon Le Bon. So I'll take a little hit here.
Let me tell you something. Ian hates Simon Le Bon. He hates the French.
He's not French.
Yes, he is. He's a French guy that was in a boy band.
Oh god, boy band. I could go off one of my favorite bands of all time and say the Beatles were a boy band, but let's not go there because I love the Beatles more than Duran Duran.
You can
By
go
the way.
there all you want. I don't give a fuck what you think.
I know you know. That's what's awesome.
That's why
Fucking-
you know he comes on my page and he's like, "Yeah, Sex Pistols boy band. They don't know how to play their instruments." It's like, yeah. I guess you're into bands that play their instruments. You don't care about songs, do you?
Oh,
Sex
but
Pistols,
Duran didn't write good songs.
No, they didn't.
They did.
They're horrible.
Oh no,
They
they're
only,
not.
Bad songs.
Oh
the
no.
Girls
they-
on film. That's terrible.
Oh my god.
the only French band I like is Trust.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Trust is awesome.
No,
Yeah, I
fucking-
hate Duran Duran. They're from France.
yeah, you don't like Oingo Boingo either, so that's cool too.
I don't even know nothing
No,
about that
yeah,
retarded
Trust.
band. All I know they did I Like Little Girls and some weird science songs.
Well, they were in one of your probably favorite movies, Back to School. They were the band in the
That
apartment.
sucks. Easy Money is the Rodney Dangerfield. Definitive.
Yeah, Easy Money's a
Fuck,
You didn't like Back to School?
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, go watch Easy Money. Go watch
I
it.
love Easy Money. Him and Joe Pesci. I know that movie.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I love that
How can
movie.
you like Back to School and know Easy Money?
I know all fucking. I
That's
know Rodney
impossible.
Dangerfield was in that fucking. What's that Little Nicky movie? I know where he was. I watched Rodney Dangerfield. I didn't
Hey,
like
look,
that movie.
Charles. Look, Charles. Mark is losing
Yeah.
again, Charles. Calm him.
Hey, I'm just fuck it. All right, let's get to the
Yeah,
next.
next topic.
But what's the next bullshit, Mark?
The next
Come on,
thing,
you're
the next
host
thing is
here.
because since Ralph likes boy bands, I'm going to give this story up. Nina Strauss says there's no gatekeeping among pop fans like there is among metalheads. Ralph, I'm going to give you that one first.
Okay.
Nina Strauss is hot, and Night Ranger died on 1984. The last great year was their last great album. That's what I think.
You haven't even heard their last four.
Yes, I have.
You
yes,
have?
I have, son.
Well, then I agree with your opinion. If you heard it, then you have a great opinion. I hate it when people tell me something they don't like something and they didn't listen to it. At least listen to it.
I don't speak. Hey, I even checked out that new Extreme shit, and I ended up liking one of the songs.
I know that was cool.
Yeah, they still suck, but that was a good song.
All right. So that's all you got to say. Nina Strauss is hot.
And Winger's new song was good too.
Yeah. Well, you like Winger Pool, didn't you?
Yeah. Somebody bought me that recently,
Yeah.
Well,
They're-
like a few months back.
after the first two albums, they stopped sounding
Yeah.
like fucking hair metal.
That
So-
second album was.
Yeah, the second album's shitty. I actually like the first album. It's not so bad
Yeah.
for that kind of music, you know.
That's
But I'm saying
shit.
they got better after the second album. They actually started growing as a band.
Are you
So-
trying
No,
to educate me again,
no.
Mark?
Huh?
No.
just for Red Beach alone. Red
Are you
Beach.
trying to educate me again, Mark?
I don't educate anybody. I just tell you what I think.
Oh well, you should say
You,
that.
you have your own mind. You can make up your
You
own
should
mind.
say, "Hey, that's what I think."
Hey, you've educated me on lots of things. So thank you.
You didn't learn shit.
I learned a lot of shit. I learned not to poke. I learned not to poke the bear.
I
I
never instructed you to call Charles crying about me. Okay, that never happened.
Carlos, those are supposed to be personal conversations. What the fuck? No, I'm joking.
I
No,
learned to
not
stay.
kidding, actually.
I learned to stay away from Galactic Cowboys as far as possible.
Oh, yeah,
that's
me
just
too.
Terrible.
So, Jerry, what do you think about Nita Strauss saying there's no gatekeeping in pop like there is in metal?
I agree with what Ralph said, man. She's hot. She's a great guitar player. She's entitled to her opinion. Who cares? Move on.
Travis.
Yeah. See, Jerry knows.
Okay.
Well, what do you think?
Like gatekeeping, like rock and metal fans can enjoy pop music too. That's what you're talking about, right?
No,
Like
gatekeeping is like, say, metal says you can't like this music. This is our music, and then pop
Oh,
goes, we don't care what we like. You know,
that's just bullshit. I think we can like anything. It's all everybody hears things differently.
it's like people were pissed off, like old heads were pissed off that people started liking Metallica Master of Puppets because of Stranger Things. They go, you can't like that. We've been liking
It's
it since
dumb.
'83, you know, stuff like that.
I
Hey,
mean,
you know,
I love.
let me say something. Mark, sometimes while you're talking, it pauses, but it comes right back. I can't wait till it just pauses for an hour.
Oh man, I feel so loved on this show. Edwin, what do you think about that?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, listen, it's easy. Of course, there's no gatekeeping of pop because every fucking month they change who the legacy acts are. It's like it's constantly changing because it's disposable music for the most part. So yeah, it's not. It's not. I'm not saying there's not good pop sometimes. It definitely was.
Yeah.
But it's easy not to gatekeep when you're in a genre of music where every couple months it's just the new thing. So yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a big deal. Metal has gatekeeping. That's the price of being in a genre that's substantial, that has a multi-generational fan base. Deal with it. So
All right, man.
And she's hot.
Oh God, yeah, it sucks. I had to see that other dude with Alice Cooper, Kane Roberts. She wasn't there when I saw her, and I was like, fuck me. I want to see Nina. Like Kane Roberts looked like that dude is on steroids still. He can't move his arm.
Is he still ripped? Is he still big?
He's still ripped as fuck, man.
Oh, he's got to be doing steroids. He can't be that old without pumping the
I
steroids.
put up videos on the Freeform Rock podcast YouTube of the live Alice with him, so he's there in those videos.
Yeah, I might watch that. I can't remember everything. There's so much content, Mark. You put up so much content.
I stagger mine. Ralph has something up every other day. It's like I'm trying to watch all Ralph's stuff, and I'm like, fuck, I can't keep.
He's a YouTube star. He has to.
I know he does, but I want to watch it all. That's what sucks. I don't have time.
I think
My
Nina
videos are like
Strauss.
10 minutes long. What's wrong with you?
I watch most of them. But it's like I want to listen to your podcast too, and you've been releasing like 7-9 podcasts in 1 month. I'm doing all yours first because you talk shit about me. I need to hear it.
Yeah. Wait, question, Ralph, are you done the fan episodes yet?
No, we got about 12 more to go.
12 more.
Well, I thought it was 9.
But there's several other people that haven't said what they wanted, and I'm hoping they never get back to us.
Oh,
yeah. I would go you paid for this episode, we're going to pick it for you, and you do the episode for those people who don't get back for you. So just say, hey, we did it for you. You didn't get back to us.
Yeah.
Listen, I have 2 questions. I just before we get into the next bullshit thing, Travis, where the fuck did you get a rainbow down to earth shirt from?
I was at the Boynton Beach Mall and I saw this concert t-shirt store, and I was just running through all the band t-shirts, and I was wondering, do they have any rainbow? So I found Rainbow Rising. I got that one, and then I found this really cool, like down to earth lineup shirt.
You actually got this in a physical location, like an actual real place.
Yeah, it's only open on the weekends though, but it's really cool.
Wow.
Oh, so you're in Boynton Beach, man? Wow, I used to live in West Palm, man. That's where I'm from.
I live in West Palm, but I go to Boynton Beach sometimes when I have some time off.
Yeah,
Wow,
I used to live. I lived in West Palm for about 10 years.
All right,
Jerry,
man.
my next thing's at you, Jerry. Move your head a little bit to the right. Yeah, you see fucking rock and roll. That's awesome.
Overkill.
Motorhead albums. Right on for buying rock and roll and vinyl.
Yeah.
Good job.
Rock and roll. Fuck yeah.
Grand Bonnet rules.
I'm just going to do one more story. Let's see. Should we do the Ace Frehley?
That was my opinion. All right, let's go. Yeah, let's go.
Ozzy Osbourne? Not going to quit? No. Okay.
Oh, dear.
I didn't get to. We just skipped the star of the show, but that's all right. Let's
I'll go ahead. No, you're the star on Freeform.
That's right. I forgot.
You're on Freeform.
Charles, let me just say too. I want to say one other thing about Charles. I really like the goatee. You're really rocking it. It's starting to get really nice and full.
Oh yes.
Looking
Thank you.
badass. Looking
Thank you.
badass, Charles.
He's going to be
Oh.
Dimebag Daryl in a couple months, man.
You should grow that, all the way. Get the fucking biker look,
Yeah, working on it.
Yeah.
Louis C.K. look.
Okay, Star. Let's see. Co-host of the show.
No, not here. I forgot. Yeah, wrong gimmick. I'm studious on the BS sessions. All right, what's the next?
Yeah, what's the
Well,
last?
I was just gonna say, do you want to do an Ace Frehley story or an Ozzy Osbourne story?
Ace Frehley.
Ace
Frehley.
Frehley.
Oh, yeah.
Ace Frehley didn't pick Paul Stanley as one of his favorite vocalists. What do you think about that, Charles?
I wouldn't either. And he's right on the money. He should put himself on that list, in my opinion. I think I always preferred Gene's voice, but Paul's cool, though. But he's not one of the top rock and roll singers though of all time. So, plus Ace is in his feelings. Kiss is a mess. We know that. They're about to go in my home. You know the home I've talked about in the last few weeks. So, but yeah, I'm not surprised because he's been in his feelings. Paul called him and said, "Fuck off," right? Allegedly.
The Real Housewives of Kiss.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that was Journey also, man. Kiss and Journey and Motley Crue have been like circling each other for months. Like,
They should all get a room.
They should all get a room, fucking fuck each other in the ass. Edwin, what do you think of that?
Oh dear.
I agree. I mean, not only is he not one of my top favorite vocalists, Paul Stanley, yeah, he was a good singer back in the day, but he's literally my least favorite singer in Kiss. So he's my fourth favorite singer. I obviously he had more range than Ace, but I just think Ace had a cooler voice, and I think Peter and Gene had more range and cooler voices, and they weren't. Paul was always very try hard, if you know what I mean. Not just like with the stage banter and shit, but it always sounded like he was really, trying hard to sing. Like you could just kind of hear it. It's like an actor that's kind of bad. That's like, you can see the acting. And he had his stride, I would say, from like Rock and Roll Over to like maybe Asylum, that period there where he was effectively singing well. And I did like his voice during that period, but still fourth favorite singer in Kiss. So yeah, so I'm with Ace Frehley there.
Travis.
I thought it was a slow news day when I saw that article. But where's Todd Howard? He should have been on the list.
I love Todd Howard.
I love Todd Howard. But
Okay.
it's just Ace. That's just what he thinks, and it's all good. I love Ace.
What about you, Ralph?
I think Paul Stanley should have been on the list because Paul Stanley is the greatest singer ever, but unfortunately, Ace Frehley's a homophobe.
Even though he was the one that was man enough to sleep with men. Unlike Paul Stanley, who was too gay to do it.
Oh my god! didn't Peter and Ace suck each other off or something?
No. Peter's not into that shit. He's not gay.
No, I was
okay.
Ace sucked him
Ace.
off.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ace sucked him off. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Ace sucked Peter off, and Peter didn't look down because he's all man.
Oh man!
Like, whatever, dude. If you want to do that, spaceman, I'll keep looking at this hot chick.
Yeah.
Hey Jerry, so what do you think of this shit?
I agree with Edwin, man. I think he's probably my least favorite singer in the band. I think Pete's got the best voice in the band myself. Paul in the 70s is pretty awesome, but in the 80s and 90s is kind of went down, in my opinion, as far as his vocals. But yeah, I don't blame Ace at all. He's not one of the best singers out there.
I agree. I'm not a huge Kiss fan. I like the 70s Kiss and that Hell Hallelujah song the other day.
You didn't like You Make Me Rock Hard?
Dude, Monster is a good album. Monster is good.
Charles,
Yeah.
because it reminds me of you because you make me rock hard, big boy.
I bet I do.
Dude, that song fucking blows, dude. That song is fucking terrible.
Love like a glove, and it feels just right.
Oh,
Dynasty back.
It's
Dynasty
just
back.
right. My bad.
Oh,
Man,
my
I
goodness.
can't write lyrics like that.
How
That's
about
called
let's put the X in sex? Love is like a muscle, and you make me want to flex.
the greatest song on the album. Best song on the album.
Holy shit,
Not
that sucks.
Holy shnikes!
It's not as bad as Read My Body. Not as bad as Read My Body.
Desmond
It's
Child
close.
helped him
It's
write all
close.
this stuff because Paul Stanley's like, oh, what rhymes with sex. Oh,
Flex.
and child comes in. X. It's like great, and then they suck each other off.
Dude, when that
You know,
video came out, I was like, I saw Tears Are Falling. It was kind of, and then that comes out and I go, I like Tears Are Falling now, but back then it was like, who are these guys? I didn't know who Kiss was really back then. So I go, who are these guys? They look, like 80s people, but I love those
You
people.
didn't
So
know
I'm
who
not gonna
Kiss was? You're in your fucking 50s, Mark. How did the hell did you not know?
because I was into like Kansas and Rush and shit like that, Night Ranger. I wasn't listening to Kiss.
But yeah, I mean, did you like
Duran.
know
Duran
like,
Duran,
image,
Cure.
like you knew there was some band where there's these guys that clown makeup on, like you knew
No,
that?
I knew Dr. Love and I knew who they were, but I didn't seek them out because I had other stuff I liked at
Yeah,
that
he
time.
liked girly stuff.
Yeah,
Hey,
I like Duran Duran, The
yeah,
Cure,
exactly.
Psychedelic Furs,
In excess. Here's a funny story.
The Go-Go's.
You know that when he wrote "You Make Me Rock Hard," Paul Stanley, he wrote it with these other people, and these other people came up with, "Hey, let's You Make Me Rock Hard" as a joke, and Paul was like, "Oh, that's great," and then they both were like snickering behind his back, like, "Can you believe that he's gonna call this song?" So the co-writers were even goofing on Paul. The people that co-wrote "You Rock Me Hard," "Rock Hard," whatever the fuck.
You make me rock hard, baby.
Stop it, Charles. You're giving
Hey.
me hot flashes.
Hell yeah. What a song, right?
All right, man.
Plasta.
Still better than In Excess.
Yeah, whatever. Let's get into our list, man. We're doing our top 11 albums of 1977, which let's start with you, Edwin. What's your number 11?
Okay, I just want to say one thing about this year. Okay, could you just threw this year at me, and I think of it more in terms of movies. Like I think, oh, 77, that's like Star Wars, Smokey and the Band, Saturday Night Fever, a lot of big movies in 77. So I never think about 77 in terms of music. But then when I was looking at all the albums on it, I was like, God damn, is this a really fucking awesome year of music? It's so awesome that there's literally albums I love that are not on this list. So I just want to say, I'll say a little shout out to them at the end. But I felt bad because there was albums I loved really a lot, and they did not make my top 11 because 77, Ralph always says this, that the 70s is the best decade ever.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, all you gotta do is just look at all the fucking amazing albums that were released in 1977. It's crazy. It's crazy. And some of these artists released like 2 albums in the same year. That's right. Like,
Oh yeah.
Cheap Trick, the Ramones, David Bowie, Iggy Pop, they all like released 2 albums in one year. And then, yeah, you got all these famous big punk rock debuts, none of which are on my list, actually. That's how great this list is. And yeah, it's an amazing fucking year in music. So I just wanted to say that I didn't realize how awesome 77 was specifically until Mark threw this at me and I had to make a list. So
You can thank Jerry for that. That was his idea.
good idea, Jerry. But yeah, I was going through this and this could easily be like a top 20, easily, if not a top 30. But this is the top 11, so apologies. I know a few of these choices no one else is going to pick, although I think everyone will get my back on the top 3. But okay, 11.
11.
11. This is 11, right? Did I do this?
Yep.
11.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
11, like a Cheap Trick album with 11 tracks. Okay, 11. The Ramones, Leave Home, their second album. It's a great fucking album. I love it. It's probably my third or fourth favorite Ramones album. It's awesome. It's great. It's sad that it didn't break the top 10. That's how awesome this list is. But yeah, it's catchy. It's rocking. The songs, it's the fucking Ramones. If you're not behind the Ramones, you hate rock and roll. That's my opinion.
I have the box set.
Yeah, Mark.
I have the Ramones box set, man.
Yeah, but do you ever play it?
Yes, it's on my iPhone too.
There you go. So number 11 is the Ramones, Leave Home.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Charles, what's your number 11?
Oh, let me use some big words tonight. I'm studious, but I'm going to preface my list with the notion that I was only 3 years old this year. So I have that 1977. I was 3 years old. So I have the benefit of hindsight on most of this list. But there is one album. I think I remember it probably more from 78, but it was released in 77. We had it on 8-track, and I remember listening to it a lot. Matter of fact, I bought it on CD when I first had the opportunity to. The rest of my list I found after the fact. I was 3. I was playing with Godzilla toys, stuff like that. So I didn't know a lot of this stuff at the time. My number 11 is from a little band called Judas Priest with an album called Sin After Sin. Great tracks on there. We got Sinner, Dissident Aggressor. Ralph, is that like their first pure metal album, or is it the one before that?
Wait, what band are you talking about? Oh,
Judas Priest. Sin
Yeah,
After Sin.
no. Before that was Sad Wings of Destiny. Their definitive one, and their first album, Rock and Roller, was a little more hard rock. That's their third album.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd say Sad Wings was the first full metal. So
Well,
this is
yeah,
like the
that's
second.
what I would say. When I read up on it, they tried to claim this one, but it's still a damn fine album to me. And Judas Priest, man, you can't go wrong with that. So that's my number 11, Sin After Sin.
That's a great choice. More on that later.
All right, Ralph, what's your number 11?
Can I go do my honorable mentions? Because goddamn, what a year this was.
Yeah, you'll be able to do your honorable mentions at the end. Yeah.
All right, at the very bottom, I would say Foreigner, the first album, because I love that song, Star Rider. ABBA, the album, amazing. Didn't make it. Electric Light Orchestra, Out of the Blue, amazing double album. Thin Lizzy, Bad Reputation, beyond badass. Billy Joel, The Stranger, probably his best album. Ted Nugent's Cat Scratch Fever, fucking perfection.
Yes.
And Leonard Skinner, Street Survivors, all didn't make my top 11.
Yeah.
They're all amazing albums. You know why? Because it's the fucking 70s, bitch.
That's right.
My number 11 is Prague Perfection. Not a bad song you can find on this album. It's a perfect album. Kansas, Point of No Return. Hey, look, I dropped the mic.
All right, Travis.
All right. Yeah, this was hell to make this list. I have a few honorable mentions too. So number 11, I'm probably going to be the only guy to have this band on this list. I'm not sure how you guys feel about this band, but number 11 is Steely Dan with Asia.
Asha, good album, man.
Yeah, man. It's just one of those albums. If I'm having just a stressful day, I come home, I put on Asia, and it just soothes me. I love it. My favorite track on there is actually my favorite Steely Dan song, Josie. Love that song to death. Everything on there is great except for I Got the News, but even that's not bad. I love Steely Dan, great band, and that's my number 11.
Jerry.
Probably, I don't know, arguably one of the best live bands ever. I've only seen them 3 times, but I think Ralph has seen them like lots of times. I'm talking about Cheap Trick's debut album, man.
Over 100 times, Jerry. I've seen
No
them.
shit, really? Wow.
I've seen them about 112 times by now. Yeah.
I only saw them 7, dude. That's fucking amazing.
I mean, they are so fucking good live. It's sad actually. They're so good. But I mean, look at the songs on this. L.O. Kitties, man. Oh Candy, Taxman, Mr. Thief. He's a Horror, man. Just fucking loaded with great tunes, man. This actually probably should have been higher, but like Ralph said, it's a great fucking year. It's the 70s, man. It's hard to put these in order from 1 to 11. So yeah, that's my number 11 right there, man. Cheap Trick's debut 100 times, man. Damn, cool.
Yeah. My number 11 is probably going to be a lot higher on a lot of you guys' list, but I like the albums more than this one.
Yeah, but nobody cares about your list, Mark.
Pink Floyd Animals. That's my number 11.
Oh,
Hey, that album wasn't out yet. That album just came out. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, the Blu-ray and shit. I gotta hook up the DVD player, man. I gotta listen to this shit on 5.1.
My heart breaks.
That's my number. Well, I like the ones above it better. So that's my number 11. Since Ralph says nobody cares, I'll get to Charles. You're number 10.
Charles, you're gonna get a call later from Mark complaining
Mhm.
about how I said nobody cares about this.
I don't give a shit.
If you know me at all, you know I'm a fan of the greatest band of the 90s, Oasis. And to know
No way.
Oasis, you've got to know this band. A little band called The Jam. And it's an album called In the City. Yeah, Paul Weller's a huge influence on Noel Gallagher, so he's all right with me. They did a killer cover of the Batman theme on this album. The title track is really good. It's punky, but yet they did a mod revival thing. Eddie, you into the Jam at all?
I tried to get into Jam. I mean, I can hear they're a good band. You know, I feel like I should try again sometime because, like, I like them and I could hear kind of a Kinks influence in them and
Yeah.
shit. And I know they covered one of the Kinks songs, so I'm a big Kinks fan. And I do like a lot of the late 70s, punk, even though none of it made this list. But I like the Jam, but for whatever reason, I didn't like them so much. I started buying their albums and shit. But you know what, Charles, for your sake, I'm gonna go and listen to their first couple albums.
See, they're a grower group.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I didn't get them at first either.
Maybe
There's
I need to listen to them because I like Preserves better than Jam. So maybe I'll check it out.
Boom. You like that? Like I said, I kind of think of like in '77, you had the Damn, you have the Clash, you have the Sex Pistols, and the Jam get a little lost in the shuffle. But I'm gonna listen to some Jam this week. I'll make it a point.
All right, man. So we get to your number 10, Eddie.
My 10 is a band that Jerry mentioned, but not that album, because that's what fucking 1977 is like. Bands are fucking not dropping one but two albums, and in some cases, like their best albums. But yeah, my number 10 is Cheap Trick with In Color, their second album, and it's an amazing album. It's catchy. It's a little
Damn right.
Yeah.
It's a little more streamlined than the first one, a little poppier. It's kind of the ultimate like power pop album. And I love it. It's great. It's fucking In Color. I mean, the first four, I think Ralph would say five. I say the first four Cheap Trick albums are amazing masterpieces, and they're all awesome. So
Before 84.
What's that?
Before 1984.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love those early albums, the early '80s albums, and I like All Shook Up. But to me, the first, those first four albums, from the first one to Dream Police, that's like, they're flawless albums. They're all awesome. And In Color is great. It's probably my least favorite, actually, of the first four albums, but it still makes a top 10. That's how fucking awesome it is.
Nice. Travis, 10.
All right, number 10, just like Chuck said, Judas Priest, Sin After Sin. I have to have that on my list. How could I not? It starts off with a blistering number by the name of Sinner. Just, dear God, what a guitar. The guitar solos just gives me goosebumps, dude. Starbreaker rocks. Distant Aggressor is such a great closer. Let Us Pray, like Ralph said, first with the double bass, right?
Yeah.
The drums.
Yeah.
Amazing track. To me, the only track to me that really doesn't cut it with me is Here Comes the Tears, but at least that song has a rockin' ending to it. But I love this album. I love 70s Priest more than 80s Priest. Masterpiece.
Nice. And then Ralph, what's your number 10?
My number 10's a tie.
Ooh.
Ramones, Rocket to Russia with the Ramones Leave Home.
Nice.
Two amazing albums in 1977, because after all, it was the 70s.
It was the 70s.
And what a great 1-2 punch after the debut.
Nice.
Amazing band. I miss the Ramones. That's another band I've seen many, 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 many times. And not having the Ramones and Motorhead around anymore is really a bummer.
When was the last time the Ramones toured? Sorry, man, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I saw the farewell tour, but it was part of Lollapalooza, and they came out in the middle of the day. It was like over 100 degrees in West Palm Beach, and they all came out in leather jackets. And I think that's what killed them that day.
You might have.
It was amazing, but the Ramones are always amazing. They were always just the real deal, man. You'd go see the Ramones live, and they really like poured every ounce of energy into their performance. They didn't mess around, man. They were just. It's sad. It's sad I can't see them no more, because Ramones was an institution since I was a little kid, and I discovered them on the Over the Edge soundtrack in 1978, and I saw them for the first time in 1980, and I didn't miss them anytime they came to Florida after that, which was a good 30 to 40 times. And I'd never missed the Ramones. The Ramones were fucking amazing. Even with CJ, they were badass. So that's my pick. It's a tie. The two Ramones albums, Rocket to Russia and Leave Home. Thank you.
All right, Jerry.
Give me these three fucking albums any day over any of the Perry era albums. I love the first three Journey albums pre-Perry. Yeah, this one's a great fucking killer album. Next, it's probably my favorite one of those three. I mean, Neil Sean just goes fucking off on this album, dude. It's a brilliant fucking record, dude. My number 10, man.
That's an awesome album. It didn't make my list, but I do really like that album a lot.
Dude, that is a fucking throw right there, dude. I'm telling you.
The Boston drummer got him beat.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Boston drummer got him beat, dude.
Yeah.
Badass album. I like it.
And you
a
know
lot.
who's not on this fucking album cover? Jonathan fucking Cain.
No way.
I don't know, but my number 10 is Kansas Point of No Return. I did get this vinyl in a Rockin' Pod, and I don't have it, so I did buy Aerosmith again. That I did.
Stop
have
copying me.
Hey, this is ahead of yours. I put this ahead.
Nah, you just like
This is a fucking great album, dude.
no, it's
Fucking
not.
the spider, dude. Just fucking for the spider
Ralph,
itself.
Ralph wants to revise his list.
No,
Yeah,
no.
no.
Lightning's
I still-
hand.
I still stand by what I say. It's a great album. Mark doesn't know that album.
I know that. I listen to it all the time.
No, you
It's on my
don't.
iPhone
No,
again.
you don't. You listen to Duran Duran XF.
I listen to everything, dude. Seriously. Like you guys do. You guys listen to Alba? I don't bitch.
Yep.
Shit.
Yeah,
Love
you
ABBA.
do. You bitch all the time about us.
I make fun of it because you guys make fun of my shit. So what's the big
Right there. Right there is the trigger. You triggered me. I'm gonna get you back with that.
deal?
I'm triggered that you don't like my gay ass music.
I tell Charles that all the time. Hey, Charles, you started it. I'm going to come back at you. You know, he goes off on LA Guns. I go off on Oasis. It's a
Did
back
I
and
bring
forth
up
thing.
LA Guns? Did I bring them up?
No, but I'm just example. Okay. Yeah, I
Hey.
picked.
LA Guns is releasing some good music under that Steve Riley.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That is a fucking trigger right there. Fuck Steve Riley. Fuck Steve Riley up the fucking ass.
Hey,
I love
Finally.
Tracy Guns.
Mark admits he's triggered. Come
On
on.
that one,
Everybody, give
I hate
him an
fucking
applause.
scabs.
He's
You
being
guys hate.
honest.
You guys
Yeah,
hate the Kiss
That's
scabs.
right.
I hate the LA Gun scabs.
Trigger.
I hate
boy.
the fact that I have to agree with Mark on that one. I can't stand Steve Riley.
No, man. No, I'm sorry. Steve Riley's better.
It's the singer, dude. I don't like the singer that he's got, man. That dude's voice just I don't know.
I like the singer. That,
Horrible.
I like Phil Lewis as a singer. I love Tracy Guns. See, if LA Guns comes my way, I'll pay to see it for two things. One, Tracy Guns, an amazing guitar player, and to hear the songs off the first album. It's the only reason.
Oh yeah.
And Rip and Tear. That's it.
They play a lot of those songs off the first album when I saw them, so you'd be happy.
Yeah, so did I. I saw LA Guns like 3 years ago, and
You
they
know-
made a huge mistake firing that Asian dude because that Asian dude was awesome.
That one dude has his new album. He has another group. Fucking, I forgot his name, but he's good,
Oh.
man. He's good.
I like
yeah.
to look into it because that guy was awesome.
I'll find his name because he has solo albums out, man. But I heard that he was pissing off Phil Lewis. That's why they kicked him out. He was like a distraction to the band.
Oh, Phil Lewis, that diva, huh?
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Hey, did you
Unlike
know
this
that?
Steve
Did
Riley
you
singer.
know that Phil Lewis masturbates into a spoon? Did you ever hear this story?
No.
Hey,
This
when
is
you
actually
What?
this is actually a true story. I used to be part of the metal sludge board, and some groupie girl said that Phil Lewis would masturbate into a spoon, right? And she literally took a picture of him doing it. So that's pretty cool. He masturbates into a spoon. I mean, that's better than that NXS guy. He killed himself by masturbating. At least Phil Lewis is smart enough.
So didn't Chris
to hang himself?
Didn't Chris Cornell do the same thing? No, you guys talk about that. He hung himself too.
Yeah, I'll bring it up. Chris Cornell jacked off while choking himself, and he died. Yeah. I didn't bring it up because I don't remember that shit. Now I do remember. Yeah, that happened, Mark. Chris Cornell fucking killed himself like that idiot in NXS.
Oh, God. Well, the idiot in excess was depressed because of Bob Geldof. Fuck you, Bob Geldof. But
I thought it was Noel Gallagher's fault.
no, it was Bob Geldof.
No. What did Bob Geldof do to little poor
Well,
Mike?
fucking he had his ex-wife. They had a kid together, and Bob Geldof wouldn't let Michael see his kid at Christmas. So they were all pissed off. She was a heroin addict too. And she eventually died, and Bob Geldof adopted their kid, but he's an asshole, man. Fuck him.
Who fucking who?
Huh? Fucking
Who
Band-Aid.
fucking who?
Yeah, boo fucking who. Let's get to our number 9, Charles.
If they don't give Michael Hudson the right to see his kids, he must have done something. Give me a break.
Exactly.
Not only did he jack off and die, he was a shit father.
Well, his girlfriend couldn't travel because Bob Geldof said no, he wants the kids at Christmas. So she couldn't bring his daughter over there. So Bob Geldof is a controlling motherfucker. And plus, Michael Hutchins, he fell on his head in a drunken thing. He lost all his taste buds too. So there was kind of a depression there with the guy. He could not taste food anymore, man. Gotta give him some credit.
He didn't have no taste in music anyway.
Oh, what's your number 9, Charles?
Well, unlike Eddie, I'm gonna put a lot of punk on my list because I'm a punk fan. I'm a newer punk fan, so anybody out there wants to be like school me on punk, don't hit me yet. Not an expert. That's the Beatles and Oasis. So, but I love this album, and I think this is an important punk album, not known that well, maybe by most. It's from a guy named Richard Hell with the Voivods with an album called Blank Generation. If you don't know that title track alone, you may not like punk. Huge on the scene at CBGB back in the day. Definitely influenced the English punk movement. So check out Richard Hell and the Voivods, Blank Generation. Awesome album.
I do know that album, Charles. It didn't make my list, but I do like it. And you should check out my friend Richard Mellett just did a YouTube video about it last week, literally.
Yeah,
yeah. Robert Quinn plays guitar on it. Who's great. Who did a later Lou Reed album I like a lot, the Blue Mask. There's actual songs on that one, and he was a great guitarist. But yeah, it's a good album. I like it. Didn't make my list, but it's a really good album. It was one of the albums I thought about when thinking about the list. Yeah.
Let's remember this is at the bottom. So I mean, once we get cooking, I love the albums even more. So this is definitely one I discovered later for sure.
Yeah, but it's a good album. Yeah.
So what's yours, Edwin?
I just want to say one other thing, just so Travis isn't, his heart should be broken now. Okay. You know what's less on my list than punk? Prog rock. All right. Like no prog rock on this list. Because listen, ultimately I'm like a rock and roll. I like rock and roll. So
I think I have a couple prog rocks on this
there's
list.
like a really big prog rock album that people have talked about.
Well, I think I got I don't know, maybe 2.
That's fair, Eddie.
And I like that album. That's all I'm saying. I like it. I'll say it right now. I like Pink Floyd's Animals. I like it a lot. I love it. I think it's a great album. It's one of my favorite.
I got 3 on here.
Yeah. But it's not the music that excites me the most. Like if I'm in a prog rock mood, yeah, I'm gonna listen to something like Animals because it's awesome.
Dogs.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. But it's just like the music I like the best is usually things with like a lot of hooks and melodies, and you know, that's the thing. Even when I listen to Metal Machine music, that's like once in a fucking blue moon. Generally, I like hooks and you know, I like hooks and melodies, you know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So
How
anyway,
do you like that Metal Machine album then?
that's what I said. That's a specific kind of mood. That's like a fuck everything. Let's all just throw it into a fucking black hole mood, you know. But most of the time, I like a snappy tune, you know. So
Right.
number 9, and I'm probably the only person that's putting these next two things on the list. But here we go. And this is actually something me and Ralph got into a little bit politely because we like and respect each other. It's not like when Ralph and Mark talk to each other. But,
I respect Ralph sometimes.
but
Sometimes.
it's the Beach Boys. We were just talking about the Beach Boys last week.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, the Beach Boys released an album in 1977, believe it or not. It's called The Beach Boys Love You. And it's my second favorite thing they ever did. I think it's fucking awesome. Actually, Ralph might like it because it doesn't actually sound like the Beach Boys. It's a really weird album. It's like it has synthesizers. It's Brian Wilson did a bunch of synthesizers, and this is like a year before Devo's first album. And Devo's first album didn't even really have too many synths. They didn't really do that until their third album, Freedom of Choice. This it's kind of a like considered a proto new wave album because of all the synths. And Brian's voice was like kind of shot, so he's singing in like a lower gravelly voice. And Dennis Wilson by this point was singing that way too. So they don't sound as like barbershop. They just sound like these weird low voiced middle-aged guys singing over synth pop, but with beautiful harmonies and melodies. And it's a really weird album, but it does have a cult following. And even if you hate the Beach Boys, I do think it's a possibility you might like this album because it's just really hooky and fun. And if you do like shit like Devo and ABBA, it has a little bit of that vibe. It's a really weird, fun. It's also funny. There's like offbeat songs. There's a song about Johnny Carson called Johnny Carson, and there's a song called Solar System where Brian's singing about the different planets. And it's a weird album, but it has a really kind of charm to it. And I just love this album. And it's an album that's grown on me more and more over the years. And the melodies are just so simple. It's almost childlike, but there's just something really catchy and fun. And it just makes me feel good. And that is why the Beach Boys Love You is my number 9.
Yeah, I've tried to get into them, man. I just can't. Just never really could get into them, man. But respect them though. I mean, you know, they've got a credible body of music people love, but I just couldn't fucking. I don't.
Hey, you know, Jerry, I have no respect for them, man.
Ralph's a tough cousin.
Hey, let me explain something to all of you that you may not know about me. I am pushing 60 years old. I am a bitter old man. Deal with me.
Get off my
Because
lawn.
I bitch a lot now. The older I get, the more I want to bitch. And I want to bitch at Mark for no fucking reason. Except that he called Charles. Fine about it. That's all.
Oh my God. Hey, Travis, what's your number 9?
It's all good. I hate the Beach Boys too.
Oh.
So my next pick is a kick-ass corporate rock band. I'm talking about the amazing Styx, the Grand Illusion. All right.
Yeah. Corporate
Oh yes.
rules. You see
Absolutely.
all these snotty fucking Rolling Stone magazine douchebags in the 70s were like, oh, Styx, Kansas, Ariel, that's all corporate rock. And I'm like, all right, give me some fucking corporate rock. Look, I love the Ramones. I love the Ramones. Joey Ramone. Oh, man, all this garbage like Styx and this and that. Hey, man, that's his opinion. Noel Gallagher, I worship. He hates heavy metal. That's all good. I can deal with other people's opinion, unlike Mark.
I just sit here when you guys give me all
Awesome.
your opinions and come down on me. I just go, you know what? I'm gonna smoke some weed.
All righty. But the Grand Illusion, not a dud on this album at all.
I agree. With
The title track, Fooling Yourself, Superstars. My favorite track is Miss America. James J. Y. Young just has a snarl when he's singing. It's just so cool. And then I saw them live, they played it, and I was like, holy shit. It was amazing. Man in the Wilderness, Castle Walls. It's just a fantastic album. I love it. Ever since I was a teenager, and I listen to it as much as I can.
Travis,
amazing
how would you
album.
rank it against Crash of the Crown?
Oh,
That's for another show.
come on now.
That's for another show.
That album sucks so much balls. It's sad. That album fucking sucks, dude.
You know, we're gonna do an episode on Crash of the Crown, so save it.
Inside joke, Eddie.
Is this stick
That,
stuff?
that album is a
Yes.
fucking embarrassment.
Me and Jerry have been arguing about this for months.
Anything about Sticks?
And me and Jerry have been arguing about the last Styx album for months. It's
That
funny.
is like beyond fucking scab sticks, man. It's fucking ridiculous, man.
For Sticks, like go start with Equinox. Equinox is a great record.
Duh.
Oh, dude,
so is the
the
Wooden Nickel.
Wooden
The Wooden
Nickel
Nickel
albums are
ones are
awesome,
great
dude.
too.
They are great, but Equinox is just, I think it's a fantastic record all the way to Cornerstone. And the Cornerstone has its moments, but if you go from like Equinox to
Paradise Theater for me are their best.
Paradise,
in that
yeah,
era.
that from 75 to 81, it's just awesome.
Hey, I like Kilroy was here. Sue me.
You know,
because you guys like
you
it.
know, Mark, if I
Shot.
was to if I was to sue you for liking Kilroy Was Here, you'd lose.
Probably. But I love it. I ain't gonna change my mind on it.
Oh, boo me.
Ooh, that's it, boo. I just said I love it. There's no boo about it. Man, Charles is
I
just
saw-
loving it. Look at him.
I
Look
wanna
at him.
say,
Look
I
at
saw-
Charles down there. Cheshire Cat grin on this shit.
The very, the
I
very
like fucking Mr. Roboto. For
the
Christ.
first horrible rock concert I was at was Kilroy Was Here.
Well, they were
Oh.
Tommy Shaw was like coked out. Yeah.
I saw Paradise Theater. It was the first show of the tour I saw. When I talked to Dennis DeYoung, he remembered that show. And it was great. But man, Kilroy Was Here. It's like, dude, nobody was standing up. Everybody stayed sitting down. They showed a fucking movie before the shit started. It was
Oh,
fucking
that's just sad.
and they were doing like little play acting on stage. I was, well, Kilroy, let's go over there. And people in the audience are like, what the fuck are we looking
Yeah,
play
it
a
was
guy?
fucking,
That
it
shit
was a fucking mess. It was terrible, man.
Hey, the live album Caught in the Act is pretty damn good.
But it's not as worse. It's not as bad as Crash of the Crown. Dude. That album's
Hey,
fucking blows,
but isn't
dude.
Caught in the Act a good live album?
No, not really. I mean, it's cool, but
Ah.
it's not really their best at their best, man, in my opinion. But
I love
that
Caught in the
Return to
Act.
Paradise, Return to Paradise live album. Fucking
Oh, that's
cool.
a great album. Yeah.
I like Madam Blue on that live album. I
Which
do
one?
like that version. Sweet Madam Blue
Which
Fucking
live
yeah.
album?
on the live album is really good.
Yeah.
That's amazing song.
Yeah.
Amazing song.
So what's your number 9, Ralph?
Number 9. This was my favorite album from this band forever until I listened to their second album. But still, I would put this up there, probably the second. It's the most eclectic album from this band. And if I was to tell anybody, if they wanted to get into this band, check out News of the World by Queen.
Fucking A, dude.
All right.
Great
All
album.
right.
It has everything. It has killer bluesy thing with Sleeping on the Sidewalk. It's got some weird stuff like Get Down, Make Love. Great ballad with Spread Your Wings. Some heavy stuff with Sheer Heart Attack. It's late. That whole Who Needs You? Holy fuck, that album rules. Yeah, and that's an album. See, unlike everybody here, I lived this. I was there. I bought News of the World when it was new. I was buying records at this was the year I started getting into music. And Queen News of the World, dude, is like so amazing how they never bettered it. I don't think they made an album better than News of the World since, and they've had some good albums. But News of the World from the beginning to end, yeah, We Will Rock You, We're Champions are kind of burnt out, but I still love those fucking songs. The whole album, my Melancholy Blues, holy crap. I can go on and on. If I missed any song, then that song rules too. Thank you. News of the World is my number, what, 9?
9.
9.
Jerry.
Right on. Amy.
My turn.
Yep.
Oh, the fucking great news, man. Cat Scratch Fever, man. Fucking Derek St. Holmes, man. What a great vocalist he is.
Damn
man.
right he is.
Fucking Wang Gang, Sweet Poontang, man. That fucking song rules, man.
To live it
I
up.
don't care. I don't care what people say about politics. I don't agree with the politics, but I can give two fucking shits about his politics. He fucking rules, dude. One of the best,
Yeah.
man. I hope he enjoys his fucking retirement because it's well fucking deserved, dude, man.
Working hard, playing hard. Love that song.
Fucking A, dude. I fucking love Nugent, dude.
Death by Misadventure.
That's an amazing track. Amazing.
Yeah, and then I get to my number 9, Billy Joel,
All
The
right.
Stranger, man. It opens up with fucking
Masterpiece.
Anthony song. Fucking if I'm moving up, then I'm
Oh, I'm
moving
showing the
out.
album. I forgot about that.
Fucking great fucking album, dude. And it always has She's Always a Woman, Only the Good Die Young, The Stranger, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. This is like side 1 of his greatest hits, volume 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's a good album, man.
God dang, it's like almost this whole verbatim. These songs are fucking on that fucking side 1. Fucking great, Just the Way You Are. Fucking great fucking album by Billy Joel. I agree with Ralph, one of his best. Maybe his best.
Fantastic.
And then we get to you, Charles, for your number 8.
I'm with Jerry, man. Cat Scratch Fever, Wang Dang Sweet Poontang, man. Ted Nugent. Fucking rules. Great album. So he pretty much nailed it.
He fucking saved a couple Kiss tours, man. He saved Crazy Nights. He fucking definitely saved that piece of shit tour. What was the other one?
Farewell.
He didn't
Farewell.
perform on Asylum, did he? I can't
Farewell
remember.
tour.
Shit, I can't remember. Well, anyway, no, he saved that. I'll just say the Crazy Nights tour. That's all you need to know. But that tour fucking sucked. But
Farewell tour. So.
He couldn't save them now, though.
yeah, he could definitely
He
fucking
could
save him
if
now.
he brought Derek St. Holmes back.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe. But
retire, Kiss, please. Right on to the next guy.
Ain't gonna happen, man. They're not gonna retire, man. They're not gonna fucking retire.
that's your Cat Scratch Fever, Charles.
Yeah.
And then Edwin, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is, and this is gonna be another one no one else is gonna have. It's connected kind of to the last one. It's Dennis Wilson, Pacific Ocean Blue. This was his first solo album. Came out the same year as Beach Boys Love You, obviously. It's my favorite Beach Boys related album ever. I think it's better than any Beach Boys album, actually. It's kind of like Dennis's Pet Sounds. And even though I do love Pet Sounds, I think this is better, not objectively, but subjectively. There's just something, Dennis, like his voice is all shot at this point, but he just has a scrappy, cool sounding voice. It's just a little more rock and roll. It has a little bit of a quality of a kind of a Bob Seger album, you know? So if you dig like stuff like Bob Seger, even there's one song that sounds even a little Pink Floyd-ish. He's a little hipper and a little more rock and roll than the other Beach Boys. And he kind of expressed that side in this album. It's a beautiful production. It's really lush and it's got a lot of atmosphere. And if you're into things like, you know, Bob Seger or like Bruce Springsteen's 70s albums, it has a little bit of that vibe, but in a kind of drunken California kind of way, you know, maybe a little splash of Jimmy Buffett, you know, but a little more rock and roll than Jimmy Buffett. And there's just something about it. This is another thing, kind of like Gordon Lightfoot. There's something about Dennis Wilson being this kind of scrappy, ne'er-do-well guy. He was like a handsome guy, but like by this point, he was like shaggy beard and a little bit like the dude in The Big Lebowski. And this is like if the dude made an album, you know, it's kind of almost like, and it's a beautiful album. It's not for everyone, but it's definitely for me. It's an album means a lot to me. And it has beautiful harmonies and melodies, and it's cool. And he played most of the instruments on it. He was a very talented guy who got overshadowed by his brother a lot. You know, everyone always talks about Brian, but my favorite Beach Boy was Dennis Wilson, and he was also in Two Lane Blacktop, which is a badass movie. Dennis used to say, people used to say he was the real Beach Boy. He was the only one. He was the one that actually surfed, and he was the one that actually rode hot rods and banged beautiful women and stuff like that. He was the one living that lifestyle. Brian was alone in his room being chubby and weird. You know, he's a great songwriter. He's genius, Brian Wilson. Dennis was the real guy. He was the real deal. He was rock and roll, and he was very talented. And and I think this is best Beach Boys related thing. And again, kind of like the other one, it is kind of possible you could like hate the Beach Boys and like this album. You know, it's not what you would think from someone that was from the Beach Boys. Anyway, that is my 8th choice, Dennis Wilson, Pacific Ocean Blue.
All right, Travis.
All right. Number 8, Mark, your favorite band, Rush, A Farewell to Kings. I adore this album. The previous album, though, is my favorite, 2112. But again, it's a perfect album. The title track and Xanadu. Can't believe they recorded Xanadu in one take. That's just, I can't believe it.
Yeah, they ain't
But-
no boy band.
No, no way. Cinderella Man's a kick-ass rocker, and Cygnus X1 is just a great epic. It's an amazing album, and I love Rush to death. So there's my number 8.
What's your number 8, Ralph?
By the way, I gotta go outside for like 10 minutes. So if I'm not back for the next one, then I'll add it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because I got somebody coming here. All right, my number 8 is Pink Floyd Animals. As you can see, Mark ripped that off from me earlier. And I'll tell you, man, back in 1977, I had this on 8-track.
Wow.
And the 8-track version had a guitar solo on, Pigs on the Wing, how it starts and ends the album.
Yeah.
On the 8-track, they were both together with a guitar solo in the middle by Snowy White, not David Gilmour. And it sucks that what Mark held up earlier, I own as well, that they didn't put it on the reissue. It's like, why won't they release that? You can hear it on YouTube, by the way. YouTube does have Pigs on the Wing with the guitar solo. That was only available on 8-track in 1977, and ever since then, it's never been released on any type of format, which is weird, right?
That's crazy. I never even knew this.
Neither did I.
You go, all right, remember this. Go on YouTube, type in Pink Floyd, Pigs on the Wing, Snowy White, and you'll get the 8-track version that's never been released ever again, which is the weirdest thing. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
So
See,
you
Ralph,
got
I'm a
something here.
fan, man. I heard you say it and I checked it out long time ago.
It's awesome, right?
man.
And
Yes,
it's
it is.
awesome. It's really awesome what Snowy White does.
Yeah.
It's easy, but it's basically those two songs put together with a guitar solo in the middle.
So does the 8-track version begin with dogs?
No, the 8-track version began with Pigs in the Wing, the full version.
But this full version, a full version. And then,
Yeah.
Interesting.
Dude, that would be fucking cool to listen to it in that order, man.
Yeah.
You can make a
Fucking A,
playlist.
man.
It is odd they haven't re-released that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got
especially
that box set.
with this re-release that came out. It wasn't on the box set on nothing. It's like,
It's
why are they
crazy.
not?
Considering
Why
how
are they
big
not?
that
Yeah,
album
it
is.
makes no
Man.
sense.
Yeah.
Maybe
What?
they don't want to pay Snowy's family.
Probably.
It probably is some douchey thing like that.
Yeah.
Well, to say David Gilmour doesn't have an ego either, he probably fucking omitted it on purpose. I don't know, but you never know.
Snowy's
Well, I
Snowy's
will
a
be
great
back in 10 minutes. So if it's my turn, wait till I
Okay.
get.
All right.
All right.
And then we get to your
So-
number 8, Jerry.
It's been talked about a couple times already. Point of No Return by Kansas Man. Fucking Paradox fucking rules on this album, dude.
Oh, fuck. Not a bad track.
This is no filler at all in my opinion. Their best album by a long shot, in my opinion. Great band, dude. I don't know who's left in the band. I know they still tour, but
The last 2 albums rule, dude.
I never heard them. I kind
Oh,
of
you didn't hear
lost,
them? Oh, dude. Me and Ralph
but,
love those 2 albums, dude.
but
They're
yeah,
great.
what a fucking great band this is, dude, man.
I got the one before the new one on vinyl, and it came with the CD also. It's fucking great, dude.
And I want to admit publicly one thing here, real quick, about a band that I bashed all the time. I'm starting to like. It's got nothing to do with the show, but I want to say it publicly that I might be wrong about this. But I shit on Anthrax a lot.
Yeah.
But
That
I
first
fucking
album.
I fucking love this album. I love the
Their
singer.
best album.
But anyway, I just want to bring that out in public because I shit on them all the time when you guys talk about it. So
Sound of White Noise is the best album for me.
Ah, this full of metal, baby.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm a John Bush nut swinger, man. I
like Joey Belladonna. I
I
Oh,
like Joey. I like
okay.
Joey. I like Joey too, but John
I love
Bush is
that.
my boy. Like,
John
he's
Bush
like
is
metal.
all
great in
Anthrax.
Armored Saint. He's awesome.
He's great in Anthrax too.
He's all
I love
right.
all the albums. I love fucking.
Anyway, I didn't mean to
Fuel.
throw us off. I didn't
Armored
mean to throw us
Saint
off
is
course there. I
Anthrax.
just wanted to admit that publicly.
Yeah, because I don't know if people know this, but Anthrax didn't even exist in 1977, Jerry.
No,
I know, Jerry.
I just wanted to publicly fucking
Hey.
admit that I may be wrong about it.
Ralph's gonna be gone for 10 minutes. We had to buy some time here, man.
Yeah,
We're
there
gonna
you
buy
go.
some time because
Oh yeah, we got
couple
other
of-
albums coming. Then I get to mine, my number 9, and basically I own all these on vinyl.
Are we only on 9 still for you?
Oh well, no, 8. 8.
Fucking great record. Yeah,
Cat
it's fucking
Scratch
album
Fever.
cover rules.
Inside.
Ted
Gatefold.
rules.
This is what you miss with fucking CDs. You get a fucking gatefold, man.
Yeah.
Fucking
Great
rules,
album. I
dude.
love it.
Album artwork. Great fucking album, dude. Like, and there's not a bad song on here, dude. You know, this guy is fucking nuts. But fuck, he speaks his truth and I respect him for it.
Edwin, you seem to know a lot about music. You know what Derek St. Holmes, is he doing anything lately or no?
He's retired.
Is he?
Yeah, I mean he did the Whitford thing a couple years
Yeah.
ago. They did that
Oh,
reunion,
okay. That's right. Yeah.
which was pretty good actually. I
It
mean,
was.
it wasn't as good as the first one, obviously, but it was better than like the last 3 or 4 Aerosmith albums.
God.
Definitely.
So it wasn't bad. I liked it.
And the rest of Ted's career after Scream Dream.
Yeah. You don't like the one with Brian Howell singing? I love the album with what's the Penetrator? Jerry?
And
No,
it's too popish,
no.
man.
I like
Tied up
Brian
in
Howell
love,
though.
tied up in love, and all that shit you're talking about.
You
Those
picked
songs?
that song to play on the radio station.
I never
asshole.
played that song. You played
did
it.
it?
You
Oh,
played
I
it.
did. And you said you
Brian-
loved it.
I do
Brian
like it.
Howe do
Never said I
anything right?
didn't.
Did he do anything right? He ruined Bad Company.
Those 2 albums of Bad Company were good, dude. I
Yeah,
was
they're great.
If
3
I want
albums.
Bad Company, and that's
Three.
what-
3 albums. 3. You're
Actually,
right.
actually 4. Fame and Fortune was him too. So you
I
had
like
4.
Little Miss Dangerous and I like Fred Bear. That's it after Scream
I
Dream.
mean, even fucking Milo sounded good with fucking you, dude.
He
I mean,
did.
fucking
Absolutely.
Yeah, free for all, man. Awesome.
Like, yeah. And then we get to your number 7, Charles.
Chuck Charles.
Number 7, eh?
Eh? You got any
Right.
donuts, eh? I like
What-
jelly.
There is we're starting to get into shit I love for sure. Like I've been loving it. One of my favorite punk bands. I am more of a English punk fan. All right. No disrespect to the Ramones or other groups. I dig them.
Suicidal.
You have to know you have to know the Ramones to know English punk. I mean, they inspired
true.
it. Ramones
Yeah,
are the
they were there
godfather.
first. Yep.
Right. They are. But I gravitate more towards the English sound and with my rock and roll as well. So that's not really a big shock. This is probably my second favorite album from this band. It's called a little band called The Clash with their debut album. You got White Riot, you got Career Opportunities, London Burning, I'm So Bored with the USA. This definitely sounds a lot like the Ramones. So if you're into a Ramones type sound but not necessarily the Clash, you probably would like this album. It's just straightforward. That's why I'm not a big prog guy. As prog as I go is like Pink Floyd, honestly. Usually punk fans aren't into prog too much. They don't go hand in hand. We like right to the point. Let's go. So this is a great Clash album. If you like that straightforward, just get it done. Short listen too. So
Yeah,
number 7, Clash.
I can't believe it's on my list, but I do love it. I love that fucking album. It's my second favorite Clash album too. I assume London Calling.
Yeah.
But like Ralph said, it's the 70s.
Yeah, I mean that's it. I looked at this and I was just like, the Clash's debut's not making my list. What the fuck? Because I love that album, and I would put it ahead of Animals, and I love Animals. So I mean, but I'm kind of
Ahead of Animals.
Animals.
Ugh.
make my
I
list.
put a lot above Animals, Jerry. So
I'm a little with Charles.
Well, you know how I am about Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
if push comes to shove, I do like some prog, but if push comes to shove, I'm a little more punk than prog.
I hate Prague.
Yeah.
Ralph's back.
But
I like very little prog, like Kansas and things. Very little. And Gentle Giant is amazing. Weird ass music, but I want to give a shout out to some guy who's not watching called Jacob Smith. He bought me the whole discography on vinyl. Little by little. And he bought me the whole discography. Then he got me the Power and the Glory on CD. Then he just wrote me going, I'm getting you Power and the Glory on vinyl. I was like, oh shit, now I have them all on vinyl. And it's a very strange, it's really weird how I like this band because they're so eclectic. And I wonder if they released something in '77. They should have made my list. But Gentle Giant, it's not for everybody. It is weird damn music. But I love it. I love Gentle Giant.
you recommended them on one of the recent episodes.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they're amazing, but they're weird.
I'll check them out.
Yeah, I think you'll like it, Edwin, because you like Metal Machine, man. Come on.
Yeah, I like some weird shit.
In line with the
I
Clash?
have eclectic taste too. Yeah.
Hey, Ralph, did you listen to that stuff that Metal Mike sent me called "They Watch Us from the Moon"? It's kind of doom metal.
No, I haven't heard of them.
Oh, it's really good. It's like Sabbathy, really like spacey kind of shit. It's really cool. I like it. But who was last? Edwin?
Yeah, I think I'm next.
You're next.
Number 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 7. Come on, we knew this would eventually make my list. I would get to because they're one of my favorite bands. If we're talking about the 70s, this is easily one of my favorite bands of all time. Aerosmith, Draw the Line. Now, I used to say this was my least favorite of the 70s, which still makes it an awesome album because all fucking 70s Aerosmith is awesome. But listening to it recently, I'm like, I kind of do like it more than the first album. Although I do love the first album. Don't get me wrong. A lot of great songs on the first album. But I think I'd give Draw the Line a slight edge. I mean, there's so many great tracks. The title track, some of Steven's best singing when he comes on screaming like
Kings and Queens.
Kings and Queens, fucking awesome. Sight for Sore Eyes, so funky and down.
Milk Cow Blues.
Yeah, this. I mean, I love it all. Critical Mass. I Want to Know Why. It's a great cokey album. That's the thing too. All 70s Aerosmith albums are cokey, but this is the cokiest of them all. It's so fucking just, you feel like you're getting a cocaine high from this album. It's
The Hand That Feeds is my favorite song off that album.
Oh, that's a good one.
Even that's a grower, but I like that song now. Yeah.
I think that album is amazing, but it is still my least favorite because I liked everything off all their albums, but that's the one that had Bright Night Fright and Milk Cow Blues, 2 songs I can. But the rest of it I like.
I used to be with you, Ralph, but they kind of grew. Even those 2 songs kind of grew on me recently. Even like the Bright Light Fight, I was kind of getting into it. Like I like hearing Joe Perry's vocals just for one song. Like it's all right just to mix it up a little.
But
bit.
if you go to the doctor, you can cure that.
It's definitely better than a Joe Perry Project album. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree there. That shit. I can't believe people swear by that album. The Aerosmith version of Let the Music Do the Talking is so much better.
Destroys it.
It eats it up. It destroys it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I have that because it came in this box set I bought from Aerosmith, the first Joe Perry project. Yeah. Just lame, man.
I like one song on it. I like The Mist Is Rising. That's kind of a cool tune. Everything else, throw it in the garbage. It's not that good. And yeah, like when you hear like Let the Music Do the Talking, you hear the Aerosmith version, not just for the obvious reason that obviously Steven Tyler is a better singer and better vocalist than the guy Joe Perry had, but even the rhythm section, which is so underrated in Aerosmith. When you hear fucking Tom Hamilton, Joey Kramer, they have so much, they're so much punchier than those fucking guys playing with Joe Perry and the Joe Perry Project. Like instantly when they come on Dumb with Mirrors, it's like night and day. It's like, this is a fucking top band here versus those clowns playing with Joe Perry. That's all I'm saying. Aerosmith's fucking awesome. I love them. Draw the Line. Number 7.
What's your number 7, Travis?
Well, to quote a great frontman that has 10 times more balls than Jackson fucking Brown. One night in the club called the Shakin' Hand, there was a 42 decibel rockin' band. And the music was good, and the music was loud, and the singer turned and he said to the crowd, "Let there be rock." What a fantastic album that is. Just straightforward. To me, it's probably AC/DC's darkest album from the 70s. And it starts off with, oddly enough, an opening track that I think is quite overlooked when it comes to opening AC/DC songs, Go Down. I think that song is amazing. And there's a story in the album where they told Bon Scott you can't have Crabsody and Blue on the album because it's about getting crabs. Well, that's bad, but it's okay to have a song about blowjobs. Go Down.
Wait, I thought that album came out. Wait, I'm sorry. Didn't that come out in 78?
Nope,
77.
It's 77. Power is just 78.
Yeah.
Doggy.
Fuck, I probably want to. Oh shit. Oops.
Doggy.
All right.
Doggy.
Did you forget
dog.
Let There Be Rock, Jerry?
Sorry, Travis. Sorry,
No,
guys.
it's all good. It's all right.
That's my Keel Fest moment of the night.
Doggy Dog, Overdose is an amazing overlooked track. Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be. I can go on and on. A Whole Lot of Rosie just finishes the album with the just fireworks, man. It's just a amazing album. And by the way, I love Exodus's cover of Overdose. Good cover. So there you go. AC/DC.
Ralph, what's your number 7?
Styx, Grand Illusion, the perfect album. From beginning,
Damn right.
their greatest album, the best Styx album ever. My God, they were firing all cylinders on that. Tommy Shaw was already he was comfortable in the band with Fooling Yourself. Man in the Wilderness, one of the greatest Styx songs. Castle Walls, man.
Yeah, fucking brilliant.
Christ, that song. Superstar, Fooling Yourself, title track, Miss America. The whole album rules. It's one of those all killer, no filler, kick ass 70s album that I bought in the 70s, and I brought a poster and I hung that poster in my room, and I still got that poster to this day inside my Styx album. Grand Illusion, the greatest Styx album, is my number 7, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Jerry.
And if I may,
go ahead.
if I may say again, one of the funniest moments on Almost Human, and when you're talking about Styx being great, and you say when you're talking about Rolling Stone making fun of corporate rock, and you go into that Lou Reed rant, and you're singing Take a Walk on the Wild Side, and you just all of a sudden you say, "Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit."
Yeah.
That made me cry with laughter. That was hilarious.
Fuck yeah. Take off that Lou and put on this America. Thank you.
That's right.
All right, Jerry.
That's
What's
my
your
number
number
7.
What's your number 7, Jerry?
I don't apologize for loving this album because Lindsey Buckingham is the fucking most underrated guitar player in the fucking world. This album is a fucking monster. To this date, this fucking album is still a fucking monster. Fleetwood Mac Rumors, man. Great fucking record.
Exactly. That's
Jerry,
right.
Though, let's replace that with Let There Be Rock, because that album actually came out in 76.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Google's wrong, dude.
Yeah, it
Google
still has some
messed up.
singles being released by 77.
Oh,
That's
But
1977 right there.
Oh,
whoops.
maybe that was a second pressing or something. Let me
I don't
look.
know.
I'm Googling this right now. I believe that Rumors came out in 76.
The first single came out in 76. And this happens a lot where you'll get a single come out.
That's true.
I saw February 7th.
We'll get to the bottom of this.
I always thought it was 77 anyway.
Okay. Hold on. Okay, no, this might count. Yeah, the first single was released 76. It was recorded in 76. The album was released very early 77, February 77.
So we're both
Mark.
right. We're both right. How about
So
that?
it still made my list, even though it is great. It's a great album. But there you go. You're right. It was actually released in 77.
Dude, I mean, Lindsey Buckingham's a fucking amazing guitar player.
Amazing
He gets
guitar.
no credit.
Amazing.
Fucking no credit at all. Man.
He was the greatest guitarist I ever saw live. I can
Yeah.
tell you, seeing live, I saw Lindsey Buckingham. I never saw a guy that talented in my life. And I've seen like Paul McCartney and Prince live. And Lindsey Buckingham was like more talented. Like this guy was insane on the guitar. The shit he
Fucking
did.
finger picking, man, just
Yeah.
amazing.
It's all,
Did
yeah.
you see Ron Keel, Eddie?
I have not.
Oh, well then maybe you'll reconsider.
But yeah, Rivers is great. It still wouldn't make my list, but yeah, I thought it was 76. You're right. It's 77, Jerry.
Well, then I
I'm
get to
finally right for a change. That's cool. Because I'm usually really bad with fucking albums in years, man. So
Mark, do you have to change your list now?
no.
You
I
don't
got
have
them all the records I picked are down here ready to go, so there's no way I could switcheroo. And then I get to Queen News of the World. It's like I could
All
get down,
right.
make love, dude. You get stoned or drunk to that fucking song, put on some headphones, listen to Get Down,
Dude.
Make Love, you fucking trip the fuck out. Like, and look at this artwork, man. It's like nobody makes artwork like this shit anymore. This is fucking a perfect album, like Ralph said. Maybe Ralph needs to change his pick, but I
I remember seeing the commercial for that on fucking regular TV for that album when it came out, man. That was some badass shit back in the day, man.
Yeah, I remember seeing billboards for like Out of the Blue from ELO. And Ralph said that was his also, that he didn't pick it because it's the 70s. But then we get to your number 6, Charles.
Wow, I copy not just Mark, but the great Ralph Viera. Nobody copies Ralph Viera though, ever. But I guess both me and you do, Mark. News of the World, Queen. Who the fuck doesn't love that album, man? Come on, dude. It's probably my favorite Queen album. Just for sheer heart attack alone. That fucking song kicks ass, man. Awesome album, dude. News of the World, Queen.
Yeah, I still don't understand how they put like they have an album named Sheer Heart Attack, but the song's on another album. The House of the Holies on one album, but it's on the other album. It's like it's weird shit.
Yep.
But then we get to your number 6, Eddie.
Yeah, this right because Queen's News of the World did not make my list, but I do really like that album. I don't love it like you guys. I'm kind of a casual Queen fan, but I do like that album, and it might be my favorite Queen album. I might agree that it's their best album. I do like it, but definitely didn't make my list. But this fucking album did. It's their debut, and there's another debut coming up too. But it's a debut of one of my all-time fucking favorite bands. It's fucking awesome. I feel it's an underrated debut. I don't think people talk up enough about it. But Motorhead, Motorhead's
Nice.
first album entitled Motorhead, fucking awesome. I understand why Overkill is the better album that came out. In 79. It's a better album, and I understand why it kind of eclipses this album. But this first Motorhead album is still a fucking awesome album. It's a banger. Fucking Lemmy's bass, a lot of great tracks. Half the songs are like old Hawkwind songs, but he's now giving them the Motorhead treatment, which is cool. It actually has my very favorite Motorhead song of all time is on this album, "Keep Us on the Road," which is a fucking awesome song. Lemmy does a badass fucking bass solo on it. And it's just raw. It's like, this thing, everyone's like focusing on the fucking Sex Pistols this year, in 77. Nothing against that album. I do like it. Didn't make my list, but I do like it. But, it's like Motorhead drops this album that's like everything. It's like metal, it's rock and roll, it's punk, it's all in one. And a few years later, like, while the Sex Pistols were already fucking done, Motorhead be like spearheading the new wave of British heavy metal, Ace of Spades, all that stuff, hitting #1 in England with Hammersmith. But people don't talk about this. Talk about pretentious critics. Pretentious critics always focusing on the Sex Pistols and punk, but fucking Motorhead were fucking bringing it all together with their first album. And I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's great. And somehow in 1977, an album that's one of my favorite albums, that's the debut of one of my favorite bands, doesn't even break my fucking top 5. What kind of great year is this? But there you go. Motorhead, number 6.
Travis.
Vibrator.
All right.
Great fucking song.
Iron Horse, Born to Lose. That's a great
So
song.
many great songs.
Exactly.
One
White
of the
Line
greatest
Fever.
finds-
Fever.
White Line
One of the
Fever.
great finds Lemmy ever wrote was in Iron Horse, where he says, "ferociously stoned."
Ah.
Such a great
That
lyric.
rules.
Not necessarily stoned, but beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's see here. A lot of people mentioned this one already. Pink Floyd Animals.
I'm stoned.
Uh, uh, Nothing needs to be said about it. It's just amazing. I will say, Sheep, the best song on the album, very reminiscent. The beginning is like One of These Days. And that distorted voice that comes in later on in the song, that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I didn't know what it was, but when they were doing the parody of the Psalm 23. It's just a great album, an all-time classic, and it would have been my favorite Pink Floyd album if it weren't for The Wall. So there you go, Pink Floyd Animals.
Now, Animals is my favorite. Wall number 2, Dark Side number 3.
Dark Side's number 1, dude.
Number 3, it's kind of burned out for me. That is a burnout album because I used to get really high and listen to that and then watch the what's that other thing? The Wizard of Oz. Watch that shit. And
Yeah.
get stoned and
Dark
watch
Side of
it.
the Oz. Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
used to watch that
Division
shit.
Bell.
Huh?
The Division Bell.
Ooh.
I like the Division Bell. Love
that
it.
fucking album
Division
sucks.
Bell sucks.
I like that more than A Momentary Lapse of Reason.
Oh, I like Momentary Lapse of Reason better than Division Bell.
They're both.
But I do like High Hopes better than any song on Division
Of course, I do
Bell.
like the final. I do like the final cut too. So yeah, I'm a Floyd nutslinger. I admit it. So
I love the final cut.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's okay.
I like the shit with Sid.
Sid. That's right. That's good stuff too.
I don't like Sid. I don't like hippies. Let's get to the
All right, Eric Hartman.
Sid was not a hippie. He was a fucking crazy acid drenched mod. There's a difference.
hippies
Yeah.
take acid.
Edwin, you're just
Oh god, I bet you guys like the Grateful Dead too. I'm happy
No,
they're dead.
that's
Hello.
hippie. I don't like that.
Hello, I do.
All right, so where were we? Who just did the album? It was Edwin, right?
I think we're doing I think Charles 5, right?
No,
Harry's got to do his 6.
yeah.
Oh, Jerry didn't do 6 yet?
Well, no, Ralph hasn't done his 6.
Ralph
he
had
did.
neither.
Put it down.
My
Okay,
turn.
come on, Mark. This is your show, Mark. Get it,
I
get it.
said Ralph did do his 6.
Ralph didn't do
Okay.
it.
Ralph.
Yeah, Travis just did his with Animals, so it's Ralph's turn.
Okay.
Right.
Judas Priest, Sin After Sin,
Nice.
Sinner, Starbreaker,
Yep.
Let Us Pray, Descendant Aggressor. Can't fuck with the Priest, man. They took heavy metal and perfected it. And
That's right.
this album is again way behind its time. Stuff like Sinner, it's so long and epic and heavy. There was nothing like it back then. Judas Priest, Sin After Sin is my number 6.
Nice. And then we get to your number 6, Jerry.
Queen News of the World. We talked enough about it already, so that's my number 6.
Have you listened to Get Down, Make Love High?
Huh?
Have you listened to Get Down, Make Love Stoned?
No.
Dude, what's wrong with you? Okay.
Well,
Let's
dude, I
get
live in
to
a state where it's not legal, dude. Sorry, man. Is it
Okay,
legal in
drink-
Florida, by the way? Is it legal in Florida?
What?
weed.
Marijuana?
It's legal.
Weed?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I
You can do
mean,
anything you want, Jerry.
I know somebody that has the card that they can buy weed, but I can't smoke weed legally.
Yeah, this will be the fucking last place it's legalized in USA, Tennessee.
Oh, Texas.
Dude, I bought it at Tennessee in front of that bar, and I gave Charles.
Dude,
the
that was
rest
some
of the
fucking nasty shit. I don't know what the fuck that was.
I got
dude.
fucking stoned off of it.
I had a fucking major headache. Of course, I got COVID that fucking night. Too,
Oh yeah. So then we get to my number 6, Heart Little Queen.
Great
Gotta
album,
get some
dude.
ladies in here, man. You got
Yeah.
Barracuda, one of the greatest guitar riffs of all time. You got Love Alive. You got Kick It Out. You got the song Little Queen. Fucking great fucking album. Fucking 2 hot chicks that could belt it and sing it. Fucking Heart rules. They need more credit than they get. That's my number 6.
If
Little
you can
Queen
sit
one.
there, if you can sit there on stage and play "Stairway to Heaven" in front of Led Zeppelin, you're fucking awesome, dude. Nancy rules, dude.
And make them cry.
Yeah, no, it's
They
pretty
made
fucking cool.
Robert Plant cry singing fucking Stairway to Heaven. And Robert says he doesn't like people covering Led Zeppelin songs, but they did a great version.
They
So-
did. Incredible.
That's my number 6. To get your number 5, Charles.
Oh, coming in my number 5 is probably my second favorite album from this band. With great songs like That Smell, What's Your Name, Little Girl. I'm talking about Skinner, Street Survivors. You got that right, man. What a song, dude. That was like, I mean, it was tragedy all the way around, but you know, Steve passing away, so he was gonna be a huge star. And Ronnie knew that. So man, what a fucking album. Street Survivors. Leonard Skinner.
I know a little. That's the best damn song on there.
Right on.
It's fucking. They changed the album cover after the plane crash to get rid of the flames. You know, because
I got the Flames album cover.
Nice.
Before
They re-released it on CD,
Flames.
but you
I
got
got
the
it.
original, so that's awesome.
I have the Flames too. Actually, I have my ex-wife's. He was a stepfather in Australia. Bought it back in the day in '77, and he never even unwrapped it.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got an unwrapped Australian copy of it with the fucking Flames, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Of course, I immediately unwrapped it because I'm not a fucking pussy, and I put it on and played it. It's fucking awesome. It sounds great.
Nice.
I got the newspaper clipping from the plane crash, and I have it inside my Street Survivors album.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Still have that 1977 newspaper clipping.
Crazy. It's
Man,
awesome.
that
I
must
love
have
this
been
album.
hard because I was only 7, so I was barely getting into music at that time.
I didn't.
You were like,
I was like growing in my mom's pussy at that time.
yeah.
Anyway, but the sorry, Trav. So the Street
No, it's funny. You're
It's
funny.
another fucking awesome album that I'm really upset didn't make my list. I'm mad. I'm mad at me. Who's this fucking asshole Edwin?
Me too, man. Street Survivors was almost on my list, and I had to take it off.
That might be my second favorite Leonard Skinner album now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Fucking
love
great.
that fucking album.
So what's your number 5, Eddie?
Okay, well, I gotta go for it because unlike Charles, I lean towards American punk, that like the people who actually fucking created it, and one of the greatest fucking bands of all time. And you know, me and Ralph were talking about this band when he was on our show a few months back, and I decided that this is definitely my second favorite Ramones album. So my second favorite Ramones album should definitely be in my top 5, and that's the Ramones' "Rocket to Russia." It's an amazing album. It's perfect. It's a perfect fucking rock and roll album. That's the thing about the Ramones. They're not just punk. They invented punk. It's kind of like Black Sabbath. Like they invented heavy metal, but I don't feel like Black Sabbath is heavy metal. I'm not saying they don't have heavy metal songs. I feel like Judas Priest is heavy metal. I feel like Black Sabbath is a hard rock band that invented heavy metal, if you know what I mean. And I think likewise, the Ramones are a rock and roll band who invented punk rock, but they're more than punk. You know, punk is what all the people following them did, just like all the people following Black Sabbath did afterwards. They're innovators, like the Beatles. You know, the Beatles, Sabbath, the Ramones, and they're one of the greatest bands ever. And somehow they cracked into my top 5. So that's how great 1977 is. But this album's amazing. Rocket to Russia, fucking Ramona, Cretin Hop. There's Rockaway Beach. Their great fucking cover of Surfer Bird. Oh my god, I love it when he does the Papa Ooh Mau Mau, Papa Ooh Mau Mau. Joey Ramone, one of my favorite singers. He's amazing on it. Every song's fucking great. You know, Teenage Lobotomy, so many great fucking songs on this album. It's just like classic after classic after classic. If you can listen to this album and not love it, you don't love rock and roll. That's my opinion. Anyway, number 5, the Ramones, Rocket to Russia.
Travis.
First off, Edwin, man, you're just an awesome guy, dude. I love how passionate you are about music. I love hearing you on all the podcasts, man. You're just cool, dude.
Yeah, dude, I gotta say, Edwin's podcast with Ian Wally, RMCP is awesome.
Exactly. I wish Ian was here too.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
One day.
Hard to get Ian.
I doubt it.
Travis. Well, he will be on
Number
Free Farm for musical chairs. So there you go.
Nice, nice.
We'll see about that.
Ralph gets him from time to time. And when he does, it's like, let's do.
Well, Ralph told him he had to be on Freeform, so he pushed Ian into doing it. So
He hasn't done it
I,
yet. Not till he does it.
not till he
I'd
does
rather
it.
musical chairs. I'd rather sit in the electric chair than listen to that. But
Oh.
okay. Let's see. I can't leave this album off the list. I know it's a very, very popular album, but I can't picture a list without it. Fleetwood Mac Rumors. The Chain is the greatest Fleetwood Mac song ever, according to me.
I think
Never Going Back. Never Going Back Again is probably the only dud on this one, but it's not that bad.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
But-
whoa, whoa, whoa.
I agree with you on that one,
to
Jerry.
me,
Whoa,
to
whoa,
me,
whoa,
to me.
whoa, whoa.
Hey, he can. The
But-
man can have his own opinion.
Oh, he can, but we could go, whoa.
That's
Whoa,
right.
whoa,
Fair enough.
whoa.
Fair enough. They can.
You've been nailing
Um,
it all night, Travis, but that was your first error. I'm just kidding, dude.
Songbird. Oh no, man, it's okay. I think I got a good sense of humor. But Songbird is a beautiful ballad, and I ruffled a lot of feathers when I said that Candace Knight's my favorite female vocalist, but Christine McVie is definitely my second favorite female vocalist. I love her sultry voice. She is so missed, and I love her so much. And rest in peace to her. And she is a major part of this album.
You ever listen to pre-Lindsay, Stevie, Fleetwood Mac, man? There's some good stuff there too, man.
Yes,
Oh, well.
yes, indeed. Bob Welch, Peter Green era.
dude.
I love that stuff.
Good
You
stuff.
know,
Absolutely.
you know who my favorite female singer is?
Who?
Simon Le Bon.
I knew it.
All right.
That's
Ralph,
great.
what's your number
That's
5?
great.
Me?
Yeah, what's your number 5?
Rush, A Farewell to Kings.
Nice.
Awesome
Masterpiece.
album. Cygnus X1, one of my favorites. Xanadu, Cinderella Man, Closer to the Heart. Amazing album, start to finish. Love it. I used to not like what's that song before the last song? Mandrose or whatever the fuck. I like it now. I think it's a great album. Rush, Farewell to Kings. I guess it's another proggy one, right?
Yeah, I think it's
Yep.
Madrigal.
Yeah.
Or something.
I'm only into prog for men. So Rush, Farewell to Kings makes my list at number 7.
That sounds like a commercial. I'm only into prog for men.
It's a good album. And that's an album I used to not like, but it grew on me. I do like it now. Still didn't make my list, but I do like it. I think it's a good album. I kind of like the earlier, more straight up hard rock and Rush, but that's a really good album. There's no doubt about it.
So what's your number 5, Jerry?
Debut of Foreigner, man. I fucking love this album, dude. They're so much better as a 6-piece than they were in the 80s. Man, I couldn't stand Foreigner in the 80s, dude.
You didn't like Foreigner 4?
No, I'm talking about Agent Provocateur on up. Basically.
Oh, I love that album.
But this album fucking rules. I mean, it's just loaded with fucking hits, dude. I mean, fucking Star Rider, dude. What a great fucking song that is, dude. Head Knocker, man. Just fucking loaded with great tunes. But then that's my number. Was it 6?
Yeah. You didn't like the album after it?
5.
Inside Information?
No.
Oh, I love that song, Inside
It got
Information.
it got way too keyboardist, dude.
Oh, but no, Inside Information had a lot of great riffs.
Oh, no, it didn't really.
No, yeah, actually, Jerry's right, Mark. There was no great riff on that album.
You didn't like Lou Graham's 2 solo albums?
I like this first one.
Oh, I love the second one
To
too.
be honest with you, I haven't heard his second one, so I don't really know if I like it or not. So
Called One Hard Look. Good album. But
What year did this solo album come out?
I think the first one was 87, the second was 89.
Wow, what's the rule?
Wow.
After 84, it sucks.
Well,
Thank you.
that's Ralph's rule, not mine.
Yeah,
There's exceptions.
but mine matters.
Okay. Mine matters to me. That's all that matters. But
Oh,
then we get
shit.
to,
You're gonna tell me Triumph Rock and Roll Machine was 77?
yep.
Fuck, that should have made my list. I love that.
I double checked it.
I ripped off Mark now.
24 hours a day, blinding light show,
Dude,
Moonchild, Rock and Roll Machine.
The way 24 hours a day starts. Tell you sweetly now, while I can't come to bed. How beautiful is that?
Fuck yeah.
Rick Emmett is amazing. And that album there is unbelievable. But Mark, I could be wrong, but that is a combination of their first two albums that I think was released before 77.
But in America, it was released in 77, right?
Okay. All right.
Maybe in
Well,
Canada,
those songs were
I
on
think
other
Canada
albums.
was 76, but we didn't get this here to 77. And they had two different album
Yeah,
covers. I think this is
but-
the Canadian version.
Yeah, that's the version I got. Though that album is a combination of their first two albums.
Yeah. But we didn't get that here to 77. So
Blinding Light Show. My God, what a song.
God. That song live is amazing too on the live albums. Fucking amazing. And then we get to Triumph doesn't get enough love, man. People need to like start listening to more
Great
Triumph.
band.
Oh, fuck
I
everything.
still want to see
They're
that. I still want to see that documentary, man. I don't know where the fuck you
Oh,
can see it.
I bought it. I bought Ralph. Well, I saw it because of Ralph. Ralph told me where to get it. Pretty cool. And then I bought it on Blu-ray, so I got it too.
Yeah, I got it on Blu-ray.
Yeah. And then we get to your number 4, Charles.
My number 4, this is the one I was talking about at the beginning of the list, where I actually do remember listening to this in the moment. We had the 8-track in the house. I bought it on CD whenever I first got a CD player. It was one of the first CDs I ever got, but it's not my number 1. I know it's goofy, but I love it. And I know how much you love this one too, Mark. Coming in at number 4, the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, baby. Fuck yeah.
Oh,
It
God.
is fucking Disco Madness, Bee Gees. You got the best Bee Gees disco
Oh,
cuts.
I
I
need to
believe
smoke
on the
something. I gotta
album.
get that.
It is a phenomenal album. I have no shame in my game. I still love Saturday Night Fever soundtrack to this day.
I knew one of you
It's
motherfuckers
awesome.
would pick that.
You know, like 6 months ago, I played How Deep Is Your Love 6 times in a row.
Yep, a great cut on there.
It's
Beautiful.
the best song, man. I love that song.
Casey and the Sunshine Band has got a great one on there. You got Kool and the Gang.
I'll give you a little trivia. There's a band on there called Tavares. And the singer of Tavares' name is Ralph Viera.
Cool.
Nice.
True
Dang.
story.
Hey, I love disco. I love disco.
Eddie, you like Saturday Night Fever soundtrack?
Yeah, in fact, this is one of the albums that I felt really bad that didn't make my list. Another one. I thought it's actually in my honorable mentions, actually. But yeah, I love this album. I mean, I grew up with it. My mom played a lot of disco when I was growing up. She had the Bee Gees Greatest Hits, which was like a double album, which had pretty much all their songs from this album on it. And then, I recall watching this movie. I'm a big fan of the movie. I love the movie. It's essentially, it's the Disco Rocky when you get down to it. It's the Disco Rocky. It's a great movie, gritty, real New York. John Travolta's great in it. I love the soundtrack. I'm a big Bee Gees fan. I like the Bee Gees a lot. I think they're great. And even the disco stuff is really good. Jive Talking's probably my favorite song, which is on it, even though they cut the scene in the movie that it was in. But I love that song, funky song. And they did, in Maurice anyway, he actually played the bass. He played the bass on that song. And great harmonies. Barry Gibb's great songwriter. And
One of the best ever, in my opinion, dude.
yeah, he's amazing. He did also the theme from Grease, he did a lot of shit. And yeah, I'm a big fan. It's a great album. It's a classic album. It's amazing that 1977 has albums like this that didn't make my list.
Wasn't it like not that it matters, Mark will throw it at me later, but wasn't it like one of the biggest selling albums ever for like the longest?
I think it was Rumors might have sold a little more. I don't know. I feel like it's Rumors and Saturday Night Fever are probably the two biggest albums on this. Yeah, but it was up there. Yeah, it was the biggest thing the Bee Gees did. It was definitely the biggest soundtrack, and it's big. I know Barry Gibb kind of regretted that he gave those songs to a soundtrack a little bit later on. He was like, that kind of maybe should have just been the next Bee Gees album, because then they would have made more money off of it, because they still made a cut, obviously, but they didn't make quite as much as they would have if it was just a solo Bee Gees album. But still, that's it's great.
Listen
It's a
to
great
it on-
documentary. Did you see the HBO documentary about them?
Yeah, that was a good
I
documentary.
have.
Even though I don't like them, I watch that. Pretty interesting. I like that shit.
And hey, Ralph, have you ever seen Barry Gibb? He lives in Miami.
I cut him off on my city truck. It was.
Did he go? Hey,
He lives right over here at Sunset Island too, and I was in my city truck, and I did a U-turn, and like he was supposed to go because of the stop sign. It was his turn, but I totally cut him off by accident, and he didn't beep or get mad at me or nothing. But I was like, "Holy shit! I just cut off Barry Gibb." Robin Gibb lived a little north on Ocean. I forgot the name of that street. And Maurice lived around there too. Right here we have a park, Maurice Gibb Park.
Wow.
Maurice Gibb died from malpractice. So
yeah, I heard that story. It's very
they
sad.
got a lot of money off that. But all the Bee Gees live down here. If Andy Gibb wasn't such a cokehead, he would have been living down here too.
Yeah.
But he died.
Yeah.
But not like Michael Hutchins style.
Oh, but Barry's the last one standing. He's the only brother
Yeah,
alive.
poor guy. And
Yeah,
know
that's gotta suck, man. That's gotta suck.
you know that Robin and Barry weren't getting along when Robin died, and it kills Barry.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they never really got along with it. They always had issues.
But it really kills them, that they were on the outs.
Yeah, they didn't get to patch up. Sad.
And still
right.
Sammy's alive.
Yeah. That's why I hope Nolan, not to digress, just saying, I just want Nolan and Liam to patch it up before their mom dies. You know what I mean? I actually care about these guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, just patch it up. You don't have to form Oasis again. Just like each other for your mom before she dies.
Yeah. I'm off.
So what's your number 4, Edwin?
Speaking of which, it's another guy that lives in Miami. A lot of cool people like to live in Miami. It's a place to be. It's an amazing album. One of my favorite artists. It's Iggy Pop, Lust for Life. He released like a lot of these artists, he released 2 fucking albums this year in 77. His debut, The Idiot, which I do love, but it didn't make my list. This was his second album. Now, the thing is, Iggy went to famously, he went to Germany with David Bowie, and he did his first debut album, and David Bowie did his 2 German albums with Brian Eno, Heroes and Low, both amazing albums that didn't make my list, even though they're great albums. And ultimately, I don't know, even though I do like a lot of European stuff, I guess, Iggy, he's a Midwestern guy. Now, if the Ramones musically inspired punk in terms of like vocal performance and like the kind of vibe, I feel like Iggy Pop was really kind of the first punk rock frontman in a lot of ways. But whatever, right? I just call it rock and roll. Iggy's a great fucking rock and roll frontman. I love everything he did with the Stooges and everything he did in the 70s. Actually, like my favorite album of his is Raw Power, Iggy and the Stooges. But this is my second favorite thing Iggy Pop ever did. I love Lust for Life. Most people will know the title track, and it was used in Train Spotting, to use in commercials and shit. But the whole album is fucking great. You got 16, Some Weird Sin, Neighborhood Threat, Tonight. It's just great track after great track. It's just down and dirty. And the thing is, with the first album he did with David Bowie was kind of putting in a lot of his artsier influence, and it's a cool album, but you kind of feel like Iggy got a little lost in that. This was Iggy kind of reclaiming himself a little bit, saying, hey, I like some of this artsy shit, but I'm still a rock and roll guy, And it was him kind of stepping up a little bit and finding more of a compromise with David Bowie that he wouldn't lose himself in. And that's why ultimately, even though I do like a lot of that artsy shit he did with David Bowie, I love rock and roll. So I like that Iggy kind of reclaimed his rock and roll soul a little bit more with this album. And I love the production. It's timeless. It sounds like it could have been released like in the 60s or even now. It's just a timeless sounding album. So much so that I didn't even think about it as a 1977 album until like I had to look on the list. I was like, oh shit, this came out in 1977. you just don't think of this album in terms of the
I
year.
thought it was the 80s, actually.
Yeah, it's just this kind of timeless sounding album. But yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of everything. It's rock and roll, it's punk, it's new wave, it's kind a little bit of everything. It's a fucking great record. Even the people that don't like the Stooges, I think, could get into this album. It's definitely one of Iggy's most accessible albums. I say this or New Values are probably his two most accessible. And it's just a great rock and roll record. It's really catchy, it's really tuneful, and it's a masterpiece. We're getting into masterpieces now that we're in the top 5. But I fucking love this album. Iggy Pop plus for life.
Travis.
I love Iggy Pop and I love the Stooges. I am so happy I have been in the top 5. I think, back then they were popular, but in retrospective, like nowadays, I feel like 70s hard rock fans don't talk about this band enough. Blue Oyster Cult, Spectres.
Yes,
I fucking love this album to death. Sometimes it's either this album or Fire of Unknown Origin as my favorite BOC album. But Godzilla, iconic song. Golden Age of Leather is such a cool rock song. Death Valley Nights and I Love the Night are both amazing ballads. And if I could go off for a little bit, I usually like to go bike riding at night. I live by the ocean, so I like to take a bike ride at night, and I put my iPhone on shuffle, and I Love the Night came on. It just hit me so hard. It's just a beautiful song.
That song is beyond amazing. I Love the Night. What an amazing song. I didn't even know this song. I didn't put this on my list because I didn't think of it. I would have put
it should have been a hit. It should have been a hit song.
That's a great album, man.
It is. I love that album.
Fireworks is amazing.
Going Through the Motions, love that song. I Love the Night should have been a hit single. It should have been a hit.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest songs. It's beyond amazing.
It is. Love BOC. So I'm glad that it's in my top 5.
All right, Ralph, you're number 4.
AC/DC, Let There Be Rock.
Nice.
I have a really hard time figuring
yeah.
I have a hard time figuring out my second favorite AC/DC album. Power Age is my favorite, but man, between Highway to Hell and Let There Be Rock, it's tough for me to pick one over the other. But Let There Be Rock is raw. It's them at the rawest. Real raw guitar sound, very live sounding album. Bad Boy Boogie, of course, the great Bon Scott lyrics. Not to be confused with the great Sammy Hagar lyrics.
Yeah.
Mark
Dolly just got a hard on. All right, go ahead.
Mark Dolly, the only guy that gets talked about here, nobody knows who he is. It's just flat out an amazing killer hard rocking album. I have both versions. I have the one Crabstein Blue, and what's the other one? I think is Problem Child. But man, what an album! Let There Be Rock, and what a killer cover too. I love the album cover. It's just a badass album, man. Very raw, heavy. AC/DC at their most rawest, I think. Let There Be Rock is my number 4?
4.
Yeah.
Jerry.
Killer album.
Unlike Inside Information by Foreigner, this album's got fucking killer riffs, dude. Fucking Draw the Line is fucking an amazing fucking guitarist if you play guitar. Kings and Queens, fucking this album just rules. Is anybody you go see them on their farewell tour?
I want to.
Is Joey Kramer playing with them?
No,
he's not.
I'm not seeing them then.
Well, it's his decision, not the band, supposedly.
I listen. I saw them. It was the first concert I ever saw was the Pump Tour. Joey Kramer. They're never going to top that. I saw them on the Get a Grip tour after that, and they sucked. But that Pump Tour, they were awesome. And
I saw that Pump Tour. That was amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was.
They opened up
amazing show. Amazing album. I love it.
Great album. Yeah, and they did a lot of songs from it. It was great. They did Voodoo Medicine Man, Fine. Yeah, and it was a great show. They did like One Way Street, Lord of the Thighs. It was a great show. And I don't know. It's like I almost like, even though I'm sure Steven Tyler, I'm sure it'll be a good show, but it ain't gonna be that show. So I almost want to just save that and let it be special, you know?
Yeah.
I'll wait to see the set list. If the set list kicks ass, I'll go.
Considering as long as that band's been around, except for that one album, they had the original members of the band all through their career. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know that bothered me. They were
That's
so
fucking rare,
so
dude.
close
That's rare.
to being. They were so close to being like the only big band that had only the original members playing. And to me, they should have just, as soon as Joey Kramer couldn't do it, they should have just wrapped it up, because that would have been a special thing to have, because no other band had that.
Right.
Yeah.
But then they kind of blew it, in my opinion. So I was disappointed in that. I was hoping they would go out with Joey. And he's
All right.
such a great drummer. I love Joey Kramer. So
All right, guys, we gotta speed it up. Charles has got.
oh, did we got it, Mark? Is that the thing? Is that then the rules?
No, because Charles only could do 2.5 hours, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
all
I
right.
get to my
That's
number
good.
4. I'll go real fast. We already talked about Cheap Trick's debut album, and I put In Color with it because they both came out the same year. How can I choose between 2 Cheap Trick albums, man? They fucking rule. So that's my number 4. Then we get to your number 3, Charles.
My number 3 is probably my third favorite album from this band. A little band called Kiss with Love Gun. God damn, I love this album, man. Love it. A little track called Almost Human on it. It's got one of the best Ace Frehley solos ever. Tremendous bass work. I even like Then She Kissed Me. I even like that cover. Great album. Not my favorite Kiss album, but it's definitely in the top 3 or 4. So Love Gun from Kiss.
All right, Eddie, your number 3.
My number 3, it's already been discussed, so I'll make it quick, but AC/DC, Let There Be Rock. It's fucking awesome. It's probably my 5th favorite AC/DC album, but it's a very strong 5th. It's awesome. It's a masterpiece. I feel like, along with a couple other albums on this list, it did inspire, even though it doesn't get mentioned a lot. I feel because they're from Australia, it inspired a new wave of British heavy metal, because they were touring in England a lot, and this is when they brought in Cliff Williams, and I feel like it kind of, especially when you listen to songs like Whole Lot Rosie and Let There Be Rock, I think it also inspired a lot of thrash later on too. A very important album. My favorite song's Overdose. I love Overdose. The Exodus version's good too, but the AC/DC one's the best in my opinion. Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be. Go Down, I agree, is an underrated opening track. And Dog Eat Dog, it's fucking awesome. Yeah, I prefer the version that has Crap City of Blue, because it's a different track rather than hearing Problem Child again. But the whole album's great. It's awesome. It's probably, I do agree with Ralph, it's a rawest album. I think it has Angus's best solos. His best solos are on this album. They're just fucking searing. It's just like raw fucking. It's like it has the energy of punk rock, but with people that can actually fucking play their instruments. And it's one of the greatest fucking rock and roll records of all time. So there you go. Number 3, Let There Be Rock.
Travis.
My number 3 is the debut album from Cheap Trick.
Nice.
I think it's a phenomenal first outing for just one of the greatest American rock bands ever. Hello Kitties, Daddy Should Have Stayed in High School. My favorite track, He's a Whore. I can't get enough of it. The only issue I have with it, well, I wish it was longer. So that's my number 3, Cheap Trick, the debut.
Number 3, Cheap Trick In Color. Amazing album. The first album I heard from them. The song Down is one of the greatest songs ever written. Then you got Big Eyes and Southern Girls and what else? Come on, Oh Caroline, Clock Strikes 10. That whole album. Yeah, I Want You to Want Me's lame though. That was the rest of that album. I love the poppy production. It's fucking amazing. Definitely a total game. I have like 4 or 5 game changer albums in my life, and In Color is definitely one of them. It's an album that me and my friend discovered together. It's a long story that I've told a million times. I'm not going to say it here, but me and my friend, when we discovered that, this was before At Budokan came out. Shit, before Heaven Tonight, when this album was new. Nobody knew them. And Cheap Trick was me and my friend's band because nobody was talking about them. And they were kind of like our secret band till Budokan blew up. And we're very happy about that because we became huge Cheap Trick fans. And I still am. I've seen the band over 100 times. And they always have a healthy portion of this album on every set list. And Cheap Trick always changes up the set list. But In Color is my number 3. Amazing album.
What's your number 3, Jerry?
Number 3 is fucking the best album by this band right here, dude. Styx, Grand Illusion, dude.
Yes. Yes.
Better than that fucking. Never mind. I'm not gonna talk about it right now.
All right, thank you.
I got to check out this Grand Illusion album. All of you all picked it. I will listen to it tomorrow. I promise.
All right.
Yeah.
So then we get to my number 3, Foreigner 1. Fucking just fucking for War with the World, man. Fucking Lou Gramm, one of my favorite vocalists of all time. Fucking love that album. Then we get to your number 2, Charles.
It's been picked a lot already. It's my favorite Pink Floyd album, Animals.
Nice.
Yeah, it
Edwin.
used to be The Wall forever, but I kind of burnt myself out on The Wall. But so The Wall is number 2 to me, and Animals is just tremendous from beginning to end. Tour de force album.
It's a great album, man. The Animals is my favorite also. Edwin, what's your number 2?
I'm surprised I picked this the highest, but apparently I did. Number 2, fucking Judas Priest, Sin After Sin. It's fucking awesome. I was just listening to this album just a couple hours ago, and it hit me how awesome it is. I always loved it, but I kind of had Let There Be Rock ahead of it. But then I was listening to them back to back. I was like, sorry, Let There Be Rock, you're awesome. But Sin After fucking Sin, it's got that extra layer. Fucking Last Rose of Summer. You know, I used to be like Travis. I used to not like Here Comes the Tears. I changed my opinion. It's an awesome song. I got totally into the drama of it, and it gets really doomy, and then he starts screaming, Here Comes the Tears. I fucking love it. Everything. Fucking Starbreaker. That's one of the greatest Priest songs ever. Sinner. I love 70s Priest. You know, it's on that edge where it's almost progressive, but not at the expense of the fucking rock and roll. And this also, the new wave of British heavy metal to me is like Motorhead, Let There Be Rock, and Sin After Sin. And then everyone, in the same way that the Ramones inspired all these British guys to do punk rock bands. I feel after these 3 albums in 1977, all these like working class British guys grabbed guitars and, essentially led to the new wave of British heavy metal. And Sin After Sin, it's a masterpiece. To me, it should be talked about the same way people talk about like Led Zeppelin albums and stuff like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's an amazing album. I feel it's kind of like their Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. It's very eclectic. It's great. It's an amazing album. And if you don't listen to it, you're losing out. Sin After Sin.
Yeah, that's on my other list. I didn't pick it, but it is a great album. Jerry, what's your number 2? Oh wait, Travis, what's your number 2?
Damn it! Did it again.
I'm gonna sound like Eddie Trunk when I say this.
Oh no,
he loves UFO, and so do I. UFO, lights out, man.
a great album.
One of the most underrated melodic hard rock bands ever. It's a perfect album. It's my favorite album from them. It's got Too Hot to Handle, Just Another Suicide. I like their cover of Love's Alone Again, and I think Electric Phase and Love to Love go together so well. It's one of the greatest transition songs ever. So UFO rules, love them.
Yeah, and then we get to your number 2, Ralph.
This really hurts me. I put it at number 2 because it should be number 1. But number 1 is so good that I was like, fuck, I hate to do this, but I gotta put the historic Nevermind the Bollocks from the Sex Pistols at number 2. This album is just, it should be number 1. There's not a bad song on here. This is historic. How you get these 4 scumbags to write such amazing songs. Johnny Rotten's still my hero today. Poor guy just lost his wife that he's been with for 40 years to Alzheimer's. He's the real deal, man. And what he was crooning about on this album, everybody later agreed with him. He was on the money back then, but it wasn't cool to say it. And that's why I love Johnny Rotten. That's why I love his lyrics. I love the music, the songs on Nevermind the Bollocks. Every single song is like a perfect 10. It's the perfect album. That's why it's hard for me not to put it at number one. But my number one is just too damn good. But Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bollocks, and number 2.
Jerry.
Kiss Love Gun featuring the greatest Ace Frehley song ever, shocked me. Fucking not funny as hell about fucking Paul and Gene asking Ace if he needed help writing his solo album. Ace fucking rules. This is my favorite Kiss album of all time. This and Rock and Roll Over are close, but this one narrowly beats it out.
So I get to my number 2 again. Styx, Grand Illusion, Castle Walls, Fool Yourself, Angry Young Man. It's fucking a masterpiece, man. This band was on top of their game back then. It's like they could not do wrong until Kilroy, even though I do like Kilroy. But they reckon when Tommy, I think Equinox, when before Tommy came in, the next album was Crystal Ball, right? With Tommy?
Yeah.
So from Equinox up to Kilroy was here, they fucking put out great material. Fucking
Paradise Theater.
There's not a run that this band is not fucking platinum albums, dude. Platinum after platinum after platinum, dude. Fucking great band. Corporate rock, like Ralph says, we love corporate rock. And then we get to your number 1, Charles.
Before we get into my number 1, Eddie, don't feel bad. I don't have Grand Illusion on mine either. It's not going to be my number 1.
I'm gonna listen to it. Enough of you all like it that I'm sure it's good. So I'm gonna check it out.
Might be little. I'm going to check it out maybe next year. But we will have here is and I want to chop it up sometime on one of the shows, Eddie, about punk, because we really got to get into this one, man. I'm definitely I am into the Ramones. I'm into the Dead Boys. I'm into a lot of American punk bands. But my number 1 is one of the greatest albums ever made by Mark Alden Taylor's favorite boy band of all time. I'm talking about the Sex Pistols with Nevermind the Bollocks. It's one of the greatest albums of all time. And calling the Sex Pistols a boy band is sacrilege and disrespectful.
No, I don't like them, so I can't disrespect them.
He called them a boy band?
Yeah. They were made by a producer. Malcolm McLaren made them. Got them together.
They were put together by.
Yeah, but did you know calling Duran a boy band is very respectful.
But so what? I don't really care how a band gets put together. The Runaways were put together that way too, and I think, and they had a great album, Waiting for the Night, this year, and it didn't make my list either.
It
Queens of Noise.
It triggers Charles. So
calling them a boy band, because I mean,
hey, Johnny Rotten would say they were a boy band too, but
he went all over me about calling them a boy band like 3 weeks ago.
Nothing that Duran ever made equaled fucking Sex Pistols.
Well, obviously, they
one album,
ultra the same way.
Mic drop, over.
I like the first 2. Rio is way better than Nevermind the Bollocks, man.
Oh, you're out of your fucking.
I'm not out of my mind.
It's pretty vacant. Anarchy USA, UK.
Yeah.
What a great version, right? By Motley Crue.
Submission. That's a great song.
Submission, EMI, New York. It's a fucking one of the greatest albums ever made. And I love it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Anything else, Charles?
Nope. Nevermind the Bollocks forever.
All right, Edwin, number 1.
My number 1 is another debut with a black and white album cover. And all I'm gonna say, it makes sense. When you look at my list, you think about, okay, like he had the Beach Boys, he had the Ramones, he had Judas Priest, he had AC/DC, he had Iggy Pop, he had Aerosmith. Well, this band is kind of like all that in one. And that's why this is such an amazing fucking album. And yeah, it's funny because I was going through all these great albums that I love from 1977, plus a lot that didn't even make the list that I thought was crazy. But when push came to, when push came to shove, it had to be Cheap Trick's first album.
Nice.
I was just like, this is the fucking greatest album of 1977, at least for me. It's just perfect. It's so raw and visceral, but yet catchy. It's like they balance this, it's this perfect balance between rawness and catchiness. It's melodies, it's hooks, Hello Kitties, Mr. Taxman, Mr. Thief, all that fucking shit. I love the ballad with the Monticello, beautiful song, haunting, wistful, TV violence at the end, fucking epic. You could hear, and he also cited it as a big influence, Kurt Cobain and Nirvana, big influence. And this is an album that was really ahead of its time. It's so ahead of its time that I feel like it was neglected then. He's a whore, all this stuff, which sounds more like kind of like 90s, what they would call like alternative rock. And they were doing it in fucking 1977. They were they were past punk, in 1977. Like this album is just so amazing. And I love In Color, and I love, all their other albums. I love Cheap Trick. They're one of my favorite bands. But this first album is my favorite Cheap Trick album. And I think that's why I edged out all the other bands, because this is the album that's my favorite from that band, and it's one of my favorite albums of all time. It's amazing. It's a perfect rock and roll record. It's everything I love about music. And that's why it is number one, Cheap Trick with Cheap Trick.
Travis, what's your number one?
Well, speaking of Cheap Trick, to me, there are two bands that capture the essence of the Beatles. One is Cheap Trick, and the other one is my number one.
I know Charles should like Cheap Trick more. I don't understand.
It's not only my it's not only my favorite album of 1977. It's also one of my favorite albums, period. I loved it since I was a teenager. It's the Electric Light Orchestra's Out of the Blue.
Good pick.
I just adore it so much. Just Turn to Stone, It's Over, Sweet Talking Woman just kicks it all off. It's just so amazing. I love Concerto for a Rainy Day, Standing in the Rain, all the way to Mr. Blue Sky. I love The Whale, what a cool instrumental that is, and Wild West Hero is just a nice song to finish it off with. I adore ELO. They rule, always.
So Ralph, what's your number one?
Well, before I go into my number one, I gotta agree, man. That is such an amazing album. Out of the Blue, I bought when it was new, and I flew to California to see ELO because I'm such a fan of that 70s stuff. All right, my number one, and boy, to outdo the Sex Pistols, you gotta be a badass album. And I gotta agree with Mr. Eddie Cannistraci. That first Cheap Trick album cannot, I repeat, cannot be beat. It is the greatest album that came out in 1977. It shits on everything else. Taxman, Mr. T, fucking Ballad of TV Violence. He's a whore, Hot Love, Monticello, Cry, Cry. Taxman, Mr. Thief, man, come on.
Oh, Candy.
Oh, Candy, Hello There. Hello Kitties. Greatest album of 1977. Hands fucking down. Cannot be touched. Thank you. Thank you, Eddie.
Yeah, it was my number 4, but my number one has to be my number one. My top 4 could have been number one, but
Could I just say that since me and Ralph both said Cheap Trick, that officially makes it science? Just saying.
Oh God!
You're now officially science deniers.
You guys could use the science lines and oh my God, Kiss. I won't enjoy it. That's their stuff. I stay away from that.
I'm not saying that what you believe isn't true, but you're just denying science. That's all.
Well, I don't believe it's science.
Eddie makes a great point. It is the best album of 77. All you deniers can go suck it.
Yeah, that's
Jerry, what's your number one, man?
I guess I'm gonna have to suck it, I guess. But if you know me,
I know about Simon Labont though.
This is my favorite
I know what
band,
it is.
and I'm ashamed that there's another person that we all know that loves this band as much as I do.
Don't say his name, please.
I'm not gonna say his name.
You.
Hands down, second best band ever fucking in the world, in my opinion, dude. Behind Led Zeppelin. Love this album. I love everything Floyd does. I go see every fucking Pink Floyd cover band that comes around. Fucking love this album. Love the remake. Love it, love it, love it. I love Pink fucking Floyd. But that Cheap Trick album is a very, very good album.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's like, well, if you know me, it's got to be Rush, Farewell to Kings. I couldn't pick my favorite band. Cheap Trick is like top 4. So they're number 4.
One of the best live bands, definitely. Cheap Trick.
Oh, fuck yeah. Cheap
Why
Trick
don't you
rules. You
pick
know
it
what sucks?
from-
I didn't get to see them with Rick last time. It was Rick. I think it was Robin Zander's son playing. Robin Zander's son was pretty good. I put up some videos on our Freeform website, but that's our top 1177 albums. Do you have any Ossos, Charles?
Nah, there's too many to mention, man. Obviously, all the Cheap Trick stuff I didn't pick because I'm not a scientist. And
Either am I.
I would think with your music taste, Charles, you would like this.
I
Yeah,
don't dislike Cheap Trick. I don't know where that came from, but they're just. I mean,
thought you like Sleep Not better.
Saturday Night Fever on there. I remember listening to it on 8-track. It was huge. I mean, so some of the picks I picked, but never mind. The Bullocks is just one of the greatest albums of all time, not just 77. Period. Across the board. So no, I don't have any other honorable mentions this week. Some of the ones you guys picked, I'll check into that I didn't know.
I thought you would know Grand Illusion. I was surprised you didn't really know that.
I'm more of a compilations dude with sticks. Because again, I like meat and potatoes rock, Mark. I'm not smart.
There's a lot of meat and potatoes rock on the Grand Illusion.
You need to look at some MC5. That's some
I
punk
like
rock.
MC5.
You
Dude,
love
there's-
them?
I don't love them. I like them. I like Iggy Pop. I love the Stooges. I love fucking a lot of fucking punk, Suicidal Tendencies. Fucking first 3 albums, amazing punk. I like a lot. I like Minor Threat. I like a lot of fucking punk shit, dude. I just don't like the Sex Pistols. No big deal.
Adolescence.
Edwin, do you have any Oslos?
Yeah, I have a whole bunch, but I'll just say the one that just missed the list that I was really upset about was Thin Lizzy, Bad Reputation. That would have been like my 12th
I
favorite.
really thought I thought Ralph would have picked Thin Lizzy.
I was surprised.
I-
Well, did.
I did say Thin Lizzy in my honorable mentions.
You did.
I have a couple that Ralph mentioned in his honorable mentions. Yeah, I thought it's funny because one of the reasons I was thinking, well, someone else will pick Thin Lizzy, but God, I love that album. There's about 3 or 4 Thin Lizzy albums I love more, but still, it's fucking awesome.
Oh, it's an amazing album.
Yeah, it's amazing. I felt like an asshole not putting it on, but I just kind of slightly love the other ones a little more. But it's a great album. Also, Ted Nugent, Cat Scratch Fever. That's a great album. That's my second favorite Ted Nugent album. I like Dog Eat Dog best, but that's probably a close second. Leonard Skinner, Street Survivors. That's a great album. People mention that. Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. I love that. I know some people might think it's hokey, but I really love Alice Cooper's Lace and Whiskey. I think it's got a lot of great songs on it. I like Blue Oyster Cult Spectres, which Travis mentioned.
All right.
Really good album. I felt bad that didn't make it. I like also Iggy Pop's first solo album. That's what the kind of year 77 was, that people had 2 albums, but The Idiot's good. David Bowie released 2 of his best albums, Low and Heroes. They're both great. I love both those albums. They didn't make the list. I felt like an asshole for not having those 2 albums on the list, but I just kind of like the other albums more, but they're close. They'd probably be like 13 and 14. I love those albums. And also, I do really love Bob Marley's Exodus, which came out, which I think is one of the best reggae albums ever. That's a really good album. And so of course I love Pink Floyd Animals as well. That's a great album. It probably break my top 15. So there you go.
The Clash too, man. Eddie, don't forget.
It would break my top 20, definitely. I love that first Clash album. That's how great 77 is. That the fucking Clash's debut. That's the top 20 album for me.
It's the fucking 70s. What do you expect?
It's fucking insane. It's bananas. It's insane this fucking year.
Best decade ever. Best decade ever. Fuck the game.
It only got better. Like 78. Oh my fucking God. Powerage, fucking stained glass.
The first band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First Van Halen, first Police, the first Cars album, fucking
Yeah.
78's like 77's like, 78's like old
Rainbow.
77's lubing us up for what's happening in 77.
And then it peaks in 80. Me and Ralph both agree with that. The 80's the peak.
Yeah.
But it's all like every year of the 70's keeps getting more and more awesome until it finally peaks with that, with like Shoot to Thrill. I don't know, like it just kind of peaks there in 1980.
Yeah. Travis, we have any awesome?
Greatest year ever.
Yeah. The first thing I want to say is about Robin Zander. He is one of the most underrated vocalists ever. He could go from crooning to like singing like it's his last performance ever. He is just phenomenal. So my honorable mention
in the middle of Gonna Raise Hell, that's fucking death metal.
Yeah.
Exactly. And voices. Oh my.
Yeah.
Love voices. I'm just gonna rattle off my honorable mentions. Cheap Trick in Color. It hurt to leave that one off. Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell. I love that album.
Yeah, that's a good album.
I'm surprised not even honorable mention, but I love this album too. The Sweet, Off the Record.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hard Times. You give me hard times. I love that one. Ted Nugent, Cat Scratch Fever. Jethro Tull, Songs from the Wood. Thin Lizzy, Bad Reputation.
Charles don't like flutes.
Thin Lizzy, Bad Reputation. And I got a couple of film soundtracks. Saturday Night Fever. Love it. The first Rocky.
Great.
Soundtrack is great.
Right on.
And the soundtrack to one of my all-time favorite James Bond films, The Spy Who Loved Me. Love that film score, and I love Carly Simon. Not a huge Carly Simon fan, but I love the way she does Nobody Does It Better. It's just a beautiful song. So there you go.
Best Bond movie and the best theme song.
She wasn't. Oh, the best theme song is Duran Duran, hands down.
Spy Who Loved Me is my favorite James Bond movie. That movie.
It's
I love A View to a Kill, man.
Live and Let Die.
No, actually, A View to a Kill sucked.
Oh, I love that.
What about Live and Let Die?
I love Live and Let Die.
I love Live and Let Die too.
I love the song better than Duran Duran.
Nobody does it better. Nobody Does It Better is probably my favorite James Bond theme song.
Mine too.
Oh, you guys
Beautiful.
didn't like the Billie Eilish? I thought that was cool. No.
Ugh.
I liked it more than the Duran Duran song.
All right, Jerry, you have any alsos, man?
I just felt like a dick for thinking fucking 1978 for the AC/DC album, man. I can't believe that. I thought that came out in 78 for some reason, man. Can't fucking that definitely would have replaced either Aerosmith or fucking Ted. But yeah, that's a great fucking record. That and fucking Out of the Blue, but ELO. Fuck, man, I forgot that one too. Great fucking record, dude. Travis, how old are you, man?
I'm 30.
Oh, really? You seem a lot younger than that.
Yeah,
But
you're like you're 19.
Thank you.
I was just gonna say, man, you're
Thank you.
You're off to a fucking great start music-wise, brother, man. Keep it up, dude. I'm telling you, man. You got some
Yeah,
great
you and
fucking-
Eric should sit in a corner and listen to Silent Lucidity and talk how bad it is.
Oh, I love Silent Lucidity.
Oh, then he don't like you.
30 years old is a baby.
Yeah.
All right. So my also is Out of the Blue, ELO, Supertramp, Even in the Quietest Moments, Free Sin After Sin, Steely Dan, Aja, Aerosmith, Draw the Line, and AC/DC, Let There Be Rock. And some of these I forgot, but I wasn't changing my list because AC/DC definitely would have been in the top 4. Probably would have bumped Foreigner down. But
I'll be honest, Let There Be Rock, even though it didn't make my top 3 and it's fucking awesome. When I feel like listening to those songs, I tend to these days listen to If You Want Blood, You Got It, like the live version. Because like half of that album's on that. And something about that album, I just like love listening to If You Want Blood. It's just so savage and raw, and Bond's singing's like next level. But it's amazing, but they don't play Overdose on that. That's the thing.
all right, man. Charles, you want to take us out, man?
No,
Want to
just
thank our guests?
Like, share, and subscribe, and of course, thank you to Travis Your debut, buddy. I hope you had a good time, buddy.
I had a great time. I hope there's more in the future. I had lots of fun.
Good job,
You guys-
Trav. Everyone give a hand. to
Hey,
Trav.
thanks.
Yeah.
Debut.
Hey man, you guys are awesome, and I love talking music with you guys. I'm definitely gonna be at Rockin' Pod next year. We're gonna have a blast.
Right on.
It's gonna be
And
great.
thank you, of course, to Ralph Viera
Yeah, I like to
for
everybody.
coming on again.
I like to let everybody know I have had a miserable time. I hate this shit. Fuck you all.
Thanks. I need a bong hit. Where's the bong? Fuck.
The podcast king. The podcast king.
Yeah,
People listen to me.
I'm Team Ian.
And by
know.
the way, Ralph,
Ian's not happy about that, Mark.
Uh,
All I can say, better you being on Team Ian than Team Ralph. That's for damn sure.
Actually, I
Ralph.
have to admit, I'm on Team Ralph. I agree with more he says than what he likes than Ian likes. So
Ian doesn't like anything good.
Hey, Ian
He
likes
likes-
the Cure.
doesn't
He
like
likes the
Firehouse
Depeche
and shit
Mode.
like that.
That's
He likes
my
some weird
point. He
bands
doesn't
out.
like anything good. He likes that crap.
hey Ralph,
Yeah.
if one day you guys actually take donations again, I definitely want to give you guys donations to do the Book of Taliesin from Deep Purple.
Well, Travis, we'll have you on to do that eventually, but we ain't taking your money because we're not taking nobody's money anymore. Fuck fans is what I say. And anybody want to be a fan of Rock and Metal Combat Podcast? Don't. We got enough fans. Fuck all the new
Membership is
Y'all
closed.
And that Toxic album rules.
Hey,
Yeah, of course the Toxic album rule. The fuck does Ian know? Ian's fucking Team Mark.
I got the Toxic Think This shirt coming in the mail soon, actually. So that's cool.
Nice. Yeah, I love Toxic music for men. Shit like that, Mark doesn't know.
I like a lot of shit you like too. So hush, man.
You're
Hey,
you're Team Ian.
Edwin, pimp your shit though before you go, man.
Rocco over your podcast. This gentleman, Ralph Viera, has been on a show a bunch of times. He's graced us with his appearances.
I'm gonna be on again soon.
That's right, very soon. Actually,
All
Travis
right.
will fucking freak out when he. All I can say is it might have something to do, not specifically that album, but with the band that you're wearing a T-shirt of. So there you go.
Oh, nice. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, that's right. Me, Ralph, and Eric might be talking about some Rainbow very
Nice.
soon. That's going to be a future episode. So rock over your podcast. And of course, I got my YouTube videos. I just hit, 1,000 subscribers. Of course, Ralph probably hit that like a decade ago. So, but I'm sure you were very happy the first time it happened. So,
Oh yeah, dude! Congratulations, you hit 1,000. That's awesome, dude.
yeah, I can.
Congratulations, brother.
It's an awesome fucking channel, man. I get to
Thank
watch
you.
you drink my whiskey or beer and go,
Edwin?
dude, I wish I could sit there and drink whiskey or beer with you.
Edwin's great,
We've
man.
done it.
I know.
And I had Edwin on the show.
Ralph, I just want to say personally, Ralph. So Ralph is from very early on has always promoted my channel in his own videos, which was a big deal. He would talk me up, and so you've always been such a big support, and of course you're my main influence why I even did it. So that always meant a lot to me, Ralph. So but you know how I feel about you, Ralph, and how much you mean to me. And thank you so much.
Well,
And-
thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and so and that's from the heart, and so it's cool. And I'm gonna do some kind this weekend. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm gonna do some kind of rankorama for the hardcore fans, like the first couple hundred people that were into my.
Awesome.
All right.
Norwood
Hey,
soundtrack.
Jerry, what are you listening to?
Kim Darby.
Jerry's playing something.
Jerry, you're playing something. We could hear it.
Nah,
We can
dude,
hear
I'm
what
just-
you-
I'm- just-
Come on, man. Let me finish this up. Stop interrupting the show. Ralph, pimp your
Jerry, you're
shit,
fucking my
man.
shit up here. Anyway, it's
Go
all
ahead.
right. But anyway, I'm gonna do something this week. I don't know what, but some kind of celebration for the core first couple hundred people that were into my shit, like Mark Daly, people like that. I'm gonna do something that they'll like. So it'll be heavy metal related, and I will do something, and that will come up sometime this week. So it'll be a special episode on my YouTube channel to celebrate 1,000 subscribers. Plus Ralph coming on the Rock Over You podcast again. It's going to be awesome. So stay tuned.
When you
All right.
do something for Mark Daly, make sure it's sold millions of copies, or else he doesn't like that crap.
All right, Ralph.
There'll be a
Ralph,
rank
Awesome.
so 1 or 2 of the albums might have sold well.
hey, Ralph, you don't need to, but pimp your shit.
I am gonna be at the Glory Hole at 74th Street tonight at 1:30. I'm ready to suck some mean cock. I want some big black cock to suck on tonight. That's my plug.
Like a man.
That's like
Yeah.
a man, like a man.
Oh my god. Well, he's on the Rock and Metal Combat podcast with Ian Wadzilla Wadley. So
Why are you plugging that on here? Nobody's
because I'm
everybody knows us
they know who you are. I
already,
know.
man.
It's what I do.
I mean, whenever anybody tunes into this, they're like, "Hey, let's go check out that Rock and Metal Combat ripoff show."
Yeah, no, that's not me. But I just want to thank you for talking shit about me on your podcast all the time. It doesn't get us any viewers, but it puts me out there.
Yeah, but you didn't like that, man. You told me off the other day. I was like, "Holy fuck, dude! We're in 3rd grade here." This is what Mark said. Mark said, "Why don't you tell off those other shows that rip you off?" What shows are that, Mark? Because I don't know what they are. What shows rip us off?
Nothing, man.
know.
I'm good.
Ah,
You know who they are. You told me at Rocket Pod, dude. Don't act coy. You told me.
whoa.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything.
Who? Ian Wadley RMCP? Is that who you're talking about?
No. All right, man.
It's all right. It's all right.
I love everybody, even if the shows you rip off, I love them too. So fuck. We're all.
Hey,
I always try to get away
all
from
I could
that.
say, Mark, is maybe you should rip off the Rock and Metal Combat podcast a little bit more. You don't rip
Yeah.
them enough.
Huh?
Yeah.
I don't want to rip them
Better
off,
show.
man, because I want to. I
It
want
was
to.
really good. That's
Huh?
why you rip it off. It's a good show.
Yeah,
Wow.
but I don't do mom and dick jokes like they do, so I'm not that
we
good
don't
at that.
really do mom and dick jokes. That's kind of a little more Eric's thing than me, you know.
Well, I'm talking about Ralph, them and mom and dick
That's
jokes.
not my thing. But that's their thing. That's
Yeah, that's their thing. I can't do that. That's them. They're free flowing on that one. I like to just mess with Charles and Jerry on the podcast. That's our thing. They mess with me, I mess with them back.
We
Yeah, you do your own thing. I don't think-
specialize in these nuts jokes.
Yeah.
No, we don't do D's nuts jokes. No, we don't do that.
That's why your show sucks.
Well, you know what? You could dump my nuts and whatever.
But
See,
yeah,
I-
Mark, don't you get any spillover? Because they talk you up quite a bit on their show.
I don't think so.
No,
But I get people telling me they like the show, dude. They like it better without Mr. I love the dude. I'm not going to say his name, but they said the show flows a little bit better with me, Jerry, and Charles. So
Nothing against what
Who's they?
a lot of people, Ralph. A lot of
Who's
people.
they? Who's they?
I don't want to call them out because that's fucked up. You know, they told me in private. I don't
They
call
got a
people.
screen name he could just throw
Yeah,
out.
they don't
Well, they're from other
want, they don't want
podcasts.
anybody to know.
They're from
like
other
this.
podcasts who told me this that we all know. So
So in order for them to save their own podcast, they won't say it out in the open.
oh, their podcast is way bigger than both. It's just as big as yours. So I can't say who they are. That's fucked up. But I've gotten good comments.
You're not
by them.
exactly leaving us in a good light, dude. Sorry.
just so you know, Mark.
You can't
that
admit who they
pod-
are. It's like,
That
oh,
podcast
shit,
you're
dude. Come
talking
on.
about, that podcast you're talking about, they fucking suck.
Ah, dude.
Oh man, you guys should check out the Decibel Geek podcast. They're awesome. But I'm just saying.
Hey,
Yeah, but they're not the ones
uh,
saying it.
Nah, I'm not going to say anything. But let's make sure and listen to the Freeform Rock podcast. We have right now we have Night Demon, which nobody likes new bands. I guess that was
Dude,
your
that fucking
feature.
band rules, dude. What
My
the fuck?
my drummer is in that band now.
Yeah, I don't understand you. But fucking Badfinger did good. Fucking yeah, Ralph. It was over 100. We're happy with over 100, but we'll get better one day. Maybe we did get it like 700 for Meatloaf, so that's pretty damn good. But with Lee, but let's get the fuck out of here. Hit that.
And me. You're welcome.
All right, man. Charles,
Yes?
say what you need to say, man.
Nothing, man. Everybody rock out, put your cocks out, and of course I rule.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember,
Later.
drugs not hugs, Jerry.
Later.
Later. Yeah,
job,
take
Mark.
drugs. You don't need the
Don't
hugs.
end things awkwardly. Good job, Mark.
End things awkwardly.
Just fucking with.
Ah, fuck. Well, it's going
I
on
just,
right
I
now.
love you, Mark. You're great. You're funny. You're drunk. Snort something.
Drunk, funny, and sure.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, Mark. Just because I don't laugh doesn't mean I don't think you're funny.
He's
Oh.
laughing hard on the inside.
This is still recording, so hi guys.
Howdy do.
Hey, I got a mission for Ralph that I am funny. Thanks, Ralph.
Yeah, I just forget to laugh all the time.
right.
Jerry
Now
always
you're
bails,
wrapping up
man.
the joke,
Very
Mark. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
I did wrap it up. I said later, guys.
Get
I
the
said
fuck
hugs
out.
not. I
Out of
said
the
All
house.
right, man.
Wrap
I
it
said,
up.
hey Travis, you got anything to say, man? This is a mess right now. I haven't drank in a month, so
Wait,
I'm kind
let
of.
Travis say the
I
last
just,
thing,
I've
and
been,
then
I've
shut it
always
off.
wanted to be on one of these kind of things, guys. It's fun, and I hope to be on one of these again.
And now you're saying, just don't invite me again, Mark. This sucked.
No, I'm
No,
really
no.
serious. This is
No,
great. This is great.
that is what I say. Don't invite me again.
All right, guys, take it easy, man. Bye.
Take care.
Cheers.
Bye.